What's going on, guys? Welcome to another build on the channel. We are excited. Today you're here with your boy Papa React, aka Sonny. What's up, guys? Good to see everyone again. And today I'm going to be dropping some fire for you guys. So everyone has requested chat apps and things like that. So today I went ahead, I listened to you guys, and I'm building the iMessage clone. So this is going to be fun. If you're excited for this, smash the thumbs up button, get this video out to as many people as we possibly can, and it's gonna be a good time. So make sure you got your coffee. I got my water ready, and I'm about to demo this app to you guys. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know where you guys are from. Let's get the energy up, and we can go ahead and smash it in today's build. Let's go ahead and give a quick demo as to what we're building today. So right now you can see this is the iMessage clone. So let's go ahead and sign in. And you can see right here, if I go ahead, use Google, it supports Google authentication. Everything is powered with Redux. So this is a full iMessage clone, and you can pretty much see it supports everything we want. So let's go ahead and say, yo, this is insane. And there you go. And it even has those nice little animations. So if you guys want to see how to build that, let me know right now. Get that energy up, guys, and we can go ahead and get this thing built for you guys. So today's actually a pretty fun build. We've got a lot going on here. We have Material UI. We have all that fun stuff. We have Material UI. We have Firebase support in the backend. So we have a real-time backend right now here. So let me go ahead and draw. Oh, this is yesterday's session. Let's go ahead and show you guys. So we've got a bit of Material UI going on over here for these little icons, the avatars being used over here. We've got a really nice use case of Flexbox in today's build. And everything that you see here is powered by Firebase. So we're going to show you guys how to go ahead and power this up using Firebase. And then once that's done, we're going to pretty much go ahead and completely get this thing built out with Redux. So Redux is going to support everything. It's pretty much how the user authentication is being stored at the moment. So how we know which user's logged in. So right now, obviously, I'm the latest chat, but let's go ahead and refresh this. And you can see it signs me in automatically. Let's go ahead and sign out. And sign back in as, let's say, I'm going to sign into Kazi's account. Let's check this out. Let's go ahead and check it out. So now I'm in, look, let's go ahead and see. So now it says yellow in this one. And here I'm going to say, yo, what's up, Sonny? So I'm pretending to be Kazi right now. And there you go. Comes up as Kazi. So it's Kazi's message right here. And he says, yo, what's up, Sonny? And what you can also do is you can actually create new channels. So this button right here will actually go ahead and prompt out. I think it's hiding the prompt from me right now. But this button right here, basically, when we click it, yeah, there we go. And it's going to pop up saying enter a chat name. So let's go ahead and type in YouTube. Boom. And we get a YouTube channel. I can say, let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go. I'm going to do a rocket emoji. There we go. And there we go, guys. So everything is up and running, and it's all pretty good, okay? Let's go ahead and see. I think everyone, if you can see me right now in the build, in the stream, let me know in the comments. I see some people freaking out about the glitching and stuff like that, but it will be completely back up and running. So don't worry about that. If it's lagging, it'll come back. All right. So this is an awesome build. What's up, Samit? Good to see you again in the house. Taruna, Kate Guggen's excited. We've got Nikhil, he says pumped. Bobby Singh, pumped. Priyanshi says, it's hard for me to imagine a life without coffee. How do you do it, Sonny? Honestly, dude, I do drink coffee, but I'm trying to wean off it right now. So getting pretty good. Waleed says, yes, yes, yes. Everyone is pretty pumped up about today's build. And guys, if you wanted to build something like this and you've been waiting for this kind of thing, let me know, because I'm always interested in seeing who's waiting for this build. Oh, nice, dude. Anjali is 14 years old and so far has completed 7 builds. That's insane. That's awesome, man. Hey, Priyanshi says, Redux, let's go. Chat apps are legit my favorite builds. Exactly, let's go. So let's go ahead. And some people want to see it because I see we've got loads of people coming in. Hey, check this out. Sumit, thank you so much for kickstarting the donations. He says, coffee is on me, Sonny. You know what, dude? I'm going to use that tomorrow and I'm going to order some coffee. So I appreciate that, dude. And I hope that new job, Sumit landed a job. I think he landed it in New York or Boston, but one of the two. And he's absolutely smashing it. So awesome stuff, Sumit. Thank you so much for that donation. we have Minhaj Khan says, will this class be recorded? Yes, it will be recorded. Somebody says, I'm going to add the Apple sign in by myself. Yeah, so guys, pretty much go ahead and add on to this build once it's done. And thank you so much. Psychoco says, these builds are better than Udemy paid courses. Dude, I agree. So with that said, guys, let's go ahead and give you one more run through of the app. So this is the app we're going to be building today. You can pretty much go ahead and add channels or chat rooms. And what I'm going to do at the end, if you stick around to the end, so for everyone who's going to stick around to the end, you guys are actually going to go ahead and get a chance to play with the app, right? So it's going to be pretty much fully functional. You guys can see it working. You can see everything built out and how we deploy and how we do all that fun stuff. And also, we just hit 300 people watching right now. So amazing stuff, guys. Thank you for the positive energy, the love and support you guys always dropping. And if you're ready for this build, guys, smash the thumbs up button. Let me know. Let's get this video out to so many more people, so that way we can get we can get as much value out there as possible. We're at 300 viewers. That's insane. Okay, so one more run through of the app. Here is the app, guys. Supports all of the Google login functionality. So if I go ahead and click sign in, we've got all of our Google login. So you can see I use Google authentication, powered by Firebase, and then you've got this lovely React flip move animation. So you see that, guys? That's pretty dope. That's pretty clean, right? So with that said, let me know, guys, as well, if you have actually gone ahead and used Redux before. So if anyone's used Redux before, let me know, because Redux is something which is you're all going to find super, super valuable inside of a commercial environment. So all of that good stuff. They ask for Redux experience. Oh, nice. Johannes, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Let's go, Papa React. Johannes live from South Africa, starting my internship on Monday. Good stuff, dude. Good luck for your internship. And that's what we're talking about. Somebody says, what's the difference between React.JS and Redux? So React.JS is the library that we use to build progressive web apps. Redux is how it's called a state management library. So it's pretty much how we manage the flow of data inside of the app. So how we pretty much store everything inside of our data and inside of our app and go through all that cool stuff. So we're going to pretty much go ahead and do that. Right. So Garvit says, hey, Sonny, as you suggested yesterday, to completely show my builds off to my father. So, dude, honestly, if he's not willing to spend it, it's completely fine. Just carry on doing it, man. Like, you can pretty much go ahead and keep learning, and you can pretty much go like as far as you can go. Like, and there's no limit. You don't need to have special materials or anything like that. You can pretty much go ahead and just practice coding abilities and, you know, keep pushing your skill set and keep it good vibes, you know, positive energy. And that's what we want to do. So, oh, nice. Thank you so much. Brian Kim, shout out from Korea. One of the dopest content. Appreciate you, dude. That is awesome. Thank you so much. That means we're at $10 already. Thank you so much, guys. And we haven't even started yet. So this is awesome. Road to 1 million subscribers. So with that said, guys, before we start the live session today, I want to go ahead and show you guys in the first link in the description, we have a completely free training, which I recommend every single one of you go ahead and check out. So it's the first link in the description. Please go check it out and sign up. Okay, so sign up for this, and this is going to go ahead and help you guys because it's completely free, and we pretty much go ahead and break down the Netflix clone for you, so you guys can go ahead and check out the entire build from start to finish and how you can use Firebase as a backend solution. So make sure you sign up to that. It's a 3-hour free training that we provide for you guys. So go ahead and check it out, and that's going to be something which is super valuable for you guys. So yeah, go ahead and do that. So with that said, let's jump into the build. So the first thing we want to do, guys, is we're going to be using create React app, but the Redux template. So if I go ahead and type in Redux into Google, and don't worry, if you're new to Redux, then completely fine. You don't need to have Redux experience or anything for this build. You can pretty much go ahead and carry on. So yeah, pretty much go ahead and check that out. I think Radu's saying, I love this channel, but appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. Hey, look at this, man. We're getting younger. This is awesome. Because I am 11 years of age. Until now, I've successfully completed 2 builds. Thank you very much. Prashun, awesome stuff, man. Reach out to Priyanshu. Priyanshu is 13 years old, and he's building as well. So you guys might want to connect, and that'd be awesome for you guys. Awesome stuff. Right. So let's go ahead and jump into the build. So here we're going to go ahead and click on Redux getting started, and you'll be able to see, and this is handy for you guys if in case you ever forget what to do. Let's go ahead and check it out. Sorry for the lag if there is lag. I mean, it will come back. Don't worry, guys. It will be completely fine in a bit. So don't stress too much about the lag issues that we're having right now. Yeah, everything will have a way of figuring itself out. So we're going to go ahead and use this command. So it's npx create React app, but we're using -- template and then Redux, right? So let's go ahead and open up a terminal. I'm going to pull up a terminal right here, make it big for you guys. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go into my desktop. I've got a clever programmer thing here. So I'm going to do npx create React app. And then rather than, so here you basically say npx create React app and then the message of React. So here I'm going to go ahead and say it's iMessage clone, and it's iMessage clone, and I'm going to say YouTube, and then it's -- template Redux. And while we're at it, so let that load. And thank you so much. Another donation from Rajveer Singh Chauhan. He says, hope this way of learning will change the trends in universities. Kudos to the Clever Programmer team for helping upcoming and existing force in industry. You guys are about to shift the paradigm. Dude, that's exactly what we're aiming for, honestly. I went to university and I found that like it's completely outdated. Everything is completely like, you know, it's just not really like, it's not what you really need in the industry. So we're trying to shift all of that and trying to give you guys the most like the most sort of critical pieces of content and critical value to you guys and provide you with all of that value. So that way, when you get into that sort of workplace or commercial environment, you guys can just thrive and you guys can kill it. Okay. And I agree with this. Good to see so many young programmers in the chat. Dude, trust me, it makes me feel old too. But awesome stuff, guys. And hey, girlfriends in the chat, go ahead, show her some love. Yeah, with that said, guys, let's go ahead and jump in. All right. So if you guys already haven't, make sure you go ahead and follow me on Instagram down here. Shoot a story if you're watching right now. And then before we start, smash the thumbs up button. Let's hit 1,000 likes again today. And we're going to absolutely crush it today. So jumping into the build, we can see our terminal command just finished off. So now we're going to go ahead and do cd iMessage clone YouTube. And we're going to be inside of it. And then I'm going to do code-insiders. For you guys, it'll be the code dot, but for me, I've got the beta edition. And then you want to go ahead and start it up. So this school should pop it up. He goes, Samit says, I'm 25, let's code and smash that. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I agree with you. I've just turned 26, so I feel your pain. But we'll kill it, don't worry, dude. So let's go ahead and this is my girlfriend. Look, if you aren't following me or liking my videos, then get on it now. Exactly, guys. Oh shit, Ahmed Baladi, good to see you, dude. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you back on the streams. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is make this full screen. For some reason, spectacle's not working. Oh man. Okay, one sec. My keyboard shortcuts aren't working. One sec. Bear with me, guys. It's always like when I'm on live streams. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and for some reason this doesn't want to behave. All right. Give me one sec. Let me go ahead and open up a new terminal like this. I wish I could book a one-on-one coaching with Sonny. You can book a one-on-one coaching with me. Why is my, God damn it. Okay. Never mind. We can pretty much do it this way. So with that said, guys, I'm gonna, okay, I need this shortcut. Give me one sec, because it kind of messes everything up. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and answer some questions from you guys, and we can go ahead and do that. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna close this, and almost close the entire stream. I'm gonna open it up again, and now, yay, there we go, guys. So I use this. I don't know if you guys know, but I use this keyboard shortcut quite a lot, and without it I think my build time would be extremely long. So that's what I was trying to get to right now. So I'm gonna close this one. Give me one sec, guys. Give me 1 second. There we go. We're back. Right, energy's back. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. So now this is the shortcut I was talking about. See, it doesn't seem like much, but trust me, to be able to do that very quickly on a live stream is very important. So yeah. And also, guys, yeah, quick question. Who would buy some Papa React merch? So if you would, let me know, because I'm actually looking at that with my girlfriend, and we're on that. So let me know. And they might have a big surprise for you guys very soon. So with that said, jumping in, you want to go ahead and hit Command J, and then you'll see the terminal up here, npm start, to go ahead and start up the app. And while that's happening, it will actually go ahead and start it up in localhost 3000. So that's what we're going to do right here. So this is our app running, and here we go. So this is what you're going to get to start with. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. Boom, boom, boom. Make it a bit bigger for you guys. Now, when you get to this screen, everything here is being powered by Redux. So Redux is a state management tool, and that's going to help you guys go ahead and manage the data flow inside of an app. So here, if I go ahead and do 20, add amount, you see it adds by 20s. If I do add async, it's a little delay, and that's meant to mimic the sort of network request and things like that. Okay. Power load says, why are you using code incisors? So I'm a big fan of like beta tools. I kind of mess around with beta stuff. So, you know, go ahead and check it out. Gaming Matt says hoodies would be cool. I know, dude. That's what I'm thinking. Like black hoodie with Papa React. That's dope. Yeah, but we'll go into that in a bit. So right now what we're gonna do is the cleanup process. So we're gonna go ahead and delete the app.test.js logo and set up tests.js over here. Move that to the trash, and then we're gonna get this. The app's going to start freaking out. So a few more things we're going to do. We're going to go inside of app.js, delete everything inside of the header. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, remove all of that, say h1, and we're going to go ahead and say, oh, nice. Pada says, you have changed my life. So yeah, that's awesome stuff, dude. Good stuff. Right here, I'm going to say, let's build the iMessage clone. Dope. Right, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And then in the top here, I'm going to get rid of lines 3 and 2. Save it, go into app.css, Command A, delete everything. You don't want any pre-styling before we start. In index.css, I'm going to show you guys, we get this annoying bit of spacing at the top, right? So you see over here, there's this normal sort of this annoying little gap over here. We're going to get rid of that right now by going to the top, going ahead doing asterisk, and then saying margin :0. And this will go ahead and reset the margins. And now we have a starting canvas, okay? So that's gonna be really, really nice to start with. So with that said, guys, stop freaking out. I can see so many people saying like, can't hear you. Yes, you can. I mean, I can see the levels. You guys can definitely hear me. Right, so with that said, I'm gonna go back to app.css, get rid of that. And then now, well, you see this features on the left, right? So features on the left, what I want you guys to go ahead and do is go ahead and you want to first get rid of counter.js and counter module. We're not going to need those. And then pull counter slice outside the folder, right? Then you're going to see counter right here. I'm going to right click on delete because we don't want that folder. That's actually a folder inside of features. Then I'm going to grab counter slice and put it back in features. So now should have a folder with that counter slice inside of, right? Hey, Fluch Code in the house. What's up, Elizabeth? She actually just landed a job, so dope stuff. Let's go ahead and carry on. Why have I done that? Yeah, there we go. And now what we're gonna do is, don't worry about all the jargon inside of here just yet. But you see right now it's freaking out. So we need to go to app.store.js. And then at here, you're gonna pretty much go ahead, get rid of the counter, save it. And that will get us to our starting point, okay? So loads of people are always asking about what that command was that I first used. So it was like something like this, where I did code insiders dash, right? Dot. So what you want to do is Command Shift P inside of code inside of your VS Code. Oh man, bless you, getting hay fever already. So what we're gonna do, and yeah, I will slow down in a sec. This is just because this is the starting point. So here we're gonna go ahead and do shell command, and then we're gonna say install code. Your one's going to say install code command, right? Thank you so much. I see some people saying bless you. Awesome stuff. Thank you guys. So here we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And we're going to go ahead and do command B. And this is a good starting point, okay? So now somebody said COVID. Yeah, don't worry. I had a cough for a while, guys. It's all gone now. All right. So with that said, now we're going to go ahead. Oh, thank you, dude. This is dope. Alex Loza says, you guys are providing such valuable content in such a fast way that it's hard to keep the pace. We'll have to keep awake for 22 hours a week in order to go over all your past videos. Keep going. Dude, I appreciate that. And that is awesome, man. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. Yeah, I used to be everyone's like, I love Java. Yeah, I love Java too. But JavaScript is, you know, what we're doing today. So now I'm going to go to class name, change this to A, and this is for the BEM naming convention. Okay, so this is known as BEM naming convention. So this is how you name your classes in React to make it more sort of easier to work with, easier to scale, and that sort of stuff. Okay, so with that said, we're going to go ahead and start the first part of the build. So the first thing I want to do, guys, is actually go ahead and build this part. So let me go ahead and start up the app on a different server, the one that I had, so I can show you guys the previous thing that I did. And what we can do is we can use that as a comparison as I build this one out. Okay. So, so we're going to go here. So this is what we're going to build, right? So this is the login page, but right now we're not too bothered about the login page. So I'm just going to sign in for now. We're going to build this part later. The first thing we're going to do is actually go ahead and build so we're going to actually go ahead and build the chat component. So this thing right here, and this is the chat component, sorry, and the sidebar component. So this thing over here, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that first. So the first thing is, Psychocoda says, Sonny, do you remember the debate over BEM comment in one of the live streams? I think so, dude. I remember some kind of thing. Daniel Tope, you guys are dope. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you for watching. And yeah, please don't spam, guys. Like, come on, you know, keep that chat clean. Otherwise, you're going to get blocked and you're not coming back. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and create. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you why I'm going to create an iMessage component. Right. So this is going to have this entire app inside of it. And this one I'm going to go ahead and create right now because it's going to freak out because there's no iMessage component. Whoa, check this out. Gabriel, damn, dude. He goes, come on, everyone, show your support. This channel is cheaper than most monthly learning platforms. Appreciate you, Gabriel. That is insane. Huge $20 donation. Thank you so much. And yeah, that really, really awesome stuff. And that's the kind of energy that we want in this channel. This is the kind of people we want in this channel. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate you. Somebody also says, do you love Flutter? Yeah, I mean, I am interested in Flutter. I know Callie Hayden does a lot of Flutter stuff, so I've been looking in that space as well. So I'm going to create a component called iMessage.js, right? And then I'm going to use my beautiful RFCE trick to go ahead and create the snippet. And then I'm going to say import iMessage.css. I'm going to create a corresponding CSS file. So now we go back and it's going to freak out. So we're going to create an iMessage CSS file. So iMessage.css. And then you guys are going to go ahead and see that it's still freaking out. And this is because inside of app.js, we need to import. So I'm going to say import iMessage from iMessage. There we go. Why's my thing acting all weird? Okay, yeah, and now pretty much I'm going to render the entire app in here. Okay, so this is going to be, there is a purpose for this, and I'll show you exactly how we're going to do that soon. But for now, what I want you guys to do is go ahead and type in iMessage here, and then we're going to go to our code, and this is not going to be camel case just for simplicity here, because some people might do it, you know, capital M, some people might not. So we're going to keep it super simple. Going back, we've got the two things inside of here, right? We've got the sidebar and we've got the chat. That's what I mentioned before. So if we go back to our app before, we had the sidebar and the chat. So where's my drawing tools? My beautiful drawing tools. All right, so now we've got this sidebar element, right? And then we've got this chat element, okay? So I'm going to create those two here. So that's what we've got over here. So that's why I like to do this little commenting right here, because it helps you sort of, you know, piece together what you're going to have inside of the app. So Komao says, when would you do a class function versus functional? I would say always try and go with functional. Functional is more the modern approach, and you should be able to go and check that instead. Hey, Daniel says, yo, Papa React. What's up, dude? glad to see you in today's video. So what we're going to do is we're going to first build the sidebar, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say sidebar. Go ahead, create the file. So sidebar.js, RFCE. I'm going to go ahead and shut that down. And then here I'm going to say, this is the sort of, the setup every time we create a new component. We're going to create the CSS file that goes along with it. We go ahead and set up the div with the BEM naming convention. So here I'm going to say sidebar, boom, done. And then we're going to write a H2 saying, I am the sidebar. There we go. And then I'm going to go over here, create the sidebar.css. And there we go, right? So we have that done. Go over to iMessage and let's go ahead and pop an import on this. So I'm going to actually make this a little bit bigger for you guys, so that way you guys can see it. There we go. And then here I'm going to say import. Why isn't my clever little trick working? Yeah, there we go. So control space bar at the end of the line here, and it will go ahead and import it for you. And then we can go ahead and do, thank you so much to Fikur Rahman Tamkin, sorry. He goes, love your work, Papa React. Appreciate you, dude. Channel says, hi, Sonny. Hey, what's up, dude? Thank you for watching. And guys, if you're enjoying this and you enjoyed yesterday's video, or if you're even here in yesterday's video, smash the thumbs up button, because we hit 1,000 likes today and yesterday, and I think we can go ahead and we can break 1,000 today as well. So Fluch Code Elizabeth says that trick is a game changer, along with Emmett. 100%. It makes you such a faster developer, right? So that's going to be really, really cool for you. Oh shit. Why Papa is not popping up today? Hey, David will be back in the channel. Hey, I'm gonna let David know that you said that. So we've got the sidebar here, right? So what I'm gonna do is actually render it out. So you see it says I am the sidebar. So we know it's working. Somebody says, is it too late to start coding at 17? Hell no, dude. Start as soon as you want, or late as you want. It doesn't matter, man. Just start, right? The next thing I'm gonna do is create the chat component. So actually, let's go ahead and build out the sidebar first, right? So Ayush Patel says it's 1.5K now for yesterday. Damn. Yeah. So like, see, we're making moves on that. So sidebar, let's go here. And what I'm going to do is, you guys liked this when I did this yesterday. I'm going to drop the sidebar underneath my code like this. So you can see my CSS underneath and my code at the top. That's a kind of easier way to visualize it as well. So I think it might help you guys out. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to have a header section. So the header section is going to reference this bit over here. Okay. So this is the sidebar header. So I'm going to go over here and create a div called sidebar. I'm going to say header. Okay, so over here we've got the div with the sidebar header. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another one, and this one's going to be called sidebar chat. So div sidebar __ chats. And that's going to be responsible for, you guessed it, this list of chats over here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Inside of sidebar header, so you see we use Material UI in a bunch of places right now. We've got it for this icon right here. We've got it for this icon over here, so the avatar being shown over here. And we've got it for this little pencil icon that we use to create a new channel. So in order to do that, we need to go ahead and install Material UI, right? Loads of people asking what's the best way to learn React. Just watch this channel, man. Watch this channel, watch the builds, go ahead and do that. And that will be your quickest, most effective way of doing it. So we're going to go here. I'm going to do materialui.com. So you can just Google it and it should pop up. Then you want to run this command, npm install material UI core, right? So this command is very important right now. So then what I'm going to do is go back to my terminal. So I'm going to hit Command J to bring up a terminal. Right now we have it running here. So I'm going to hit this little plus icon and we should see a second terminal pop up. And then I'm going to go ahead and do npm install material UI core, right? Anthony, what's up, dude? He says, yo, Sonny. That's awesome. Cheers, dude. Oh, sorry. I was responding to another comment as I had that one pinned. Right. Yeah. So, okay. So with that done, we're going to install that. Then we're going to go back here, go to the top where it says search. And then I'm going to say icons. And thank you so much, Vishali, for putting a little code snippet in the chat. That will help a lot of people out. Here with the installation, I'm going to go ahead and do Material UI icons. So we need to install the core and the icon set. Okay. So those are two things that we need to do to get started. If you guys are enjoying this, by the way, let me know. We'll keep the builds coming. All right. So back to the build here. Now I'm going to hit Command J to hide it. And the first thing I'm going to do is at the top over here, I'm going to have so we have the avatar, right? So I'm going to go here, I'm going to say avatar. And then here, I'm going to say source, right? Now the source at this point, we don't have an image for it. So I'm just going to leave this blank. Okay. And this will go ahead and it'll pop like a dummy avatar in. So it says avatar is not defined. So here I'm going to hit control space at the end. It says auto import from material UI. Gives me the import statement. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Refresh. Avatar is not defined. Should be defined now. So let's go ahead and refresh. We should see it. There we go. Right. So it says I am the sidebar, and we've got the avatar popping up, which is the little icon right here. Mando loves the Emmet trick. Yeah, honestly, Emmet is insane, man. And it makes you such a fast coder. So make sure you take full advantage of that. The next thing we're going to do is create sidebar __ input. Boom. Going to do that. Oops. Input. And then I'm going to go ahead and inside of here, I'm going to have a few things. I'm going to have the search icon, right? So the search icon we can pull in from material UI. So I've got the import up here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that in. I'm going to close this to make it a bit easier for you guys to see. And then I'm going to go back down and create an input, right? So this is going to be an input with a placeholder of search. So you see right now we're starting to pop out some of the stuff. Now we don't need to say I am the sidebar. We don't really care about that. Also where we say let's build the messenger clone, iMessage clone, we can get rid of that. So going back here, we're going to go ahead and do, so Sonny and David to work on that, bro. So loads of people are looking forward to the iMessage, to the React Native stuff. It's coming. Just bear with me, okay? It's coming, guys. It's coming. It's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. Yeah, it's definitely on its way. Then we're going to go ahead and after this, we're going to have another icon button, right? So we're going to have that little icon over here that you guys see. I'm going to go ahead and pull that in. So the thing to go ahead and do that is it's actually called this right here. So it's called rate review outlined icon. So I'm going to go ahead and import that from material UI. So pull that in at the top and then save it. And we should see that in just a second. And what I can do is you see right now, this is not clickable, right? So to make an icon clickable in material UI, all you need to do is actually pretty simple. You go ahead and you import something called icon button. Yeah, so I did an auto import and then basically this takes a child. So pretty much you go ahead and expand it. And I'm going to pop the icon inside of it. And that will actually make this clickable. So you see now we get that beautiful ripple effect. So if you didn't know that and you now know that, so go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Also, thank you so much, Pada. He says, Sonny, I have become the biggest fan of you, bro. Love you, bro. Sorry, Mehban. Mehban's keeping everyone in the comments in check. You know, that's why Mehban's Mehban. You know, that's why we love her. All right. Going back. So Rishi Seek says, please slow down. Everything is going to be recorded, guys. So don't freak out. And we've got a lot to build through today, which is why we're keeping the speed nice and high. Okay. So next thing you know, we've got the icon button, right? So I'm going to give the icon button a class. So I'm going to say class name of sidebar chats like this, save it. And then I'm going to go, no, not sidebar chat, sorry. It should be sidebar input button. We're going to go ahead and use that so we can reference this afterwards. And then I'm going to give this a variant. Okay. So I'm going to say this is a variant. And I'm going to go ahead and say outlined. Also, guys, if you're following along with it, right, try not to be following line by line and just copying things. Try and watch it and enjoy the content, right? And oh, snap, check this out. So Athava is inside the course. We work with him and he's a dope student. And he's actually gone ahead and he wrote a blog with us. It's on Medium right now in the Clever program. You guys can go ahead and check it out. But that's so sick, man. We just dropped an Amazon 50-page plus blog and it's now reached 3.3K views. Well done, Athava. That was insane, dude. I really, really enjoyed that read as well. So crazy stuff, man. And well done. Right. Oh, I pinned it here as well. Let's go back. Okay. So now we have the sidebar chat section underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and first style the bit at the top. Thank you, Ragvenda, for the super chat. Appreciate you, dude. So I'm going to save that. And now let's go ahead and style this so it looks a little bit more like the top, right? So I'm going to go ahead, pull up the sidebar, oops, pull up the sidebar.css, split that page over here. And then we've got our stuff over there and we don't need as much room. So I'm going to do that. Now here, what I'm going to do is go ahead and for the sidebar, I'm going to say dot sidebar and I'm going to apply the following thing. So I want this to take up 35% of the screen. So if you notice here, this is actually taking up only 35% of the screen and the remainder is 65% of the screen. Okay. So this is taking up 35% of the screen. Yeah. And this is taking up, the chat is taking up 65% of the screen. So in order to do that, what we do is we go ahead and say, we say flex 0.35 and then we can go ahead and save it. Let's go back here. And you're not going to notice that right now because we haven't actually applied flex to our app. So let's go back to app.css. Go ahead and do the following. We just need to say display flex. Right. And we can close that, go back here. And then I can say height of 100 view height. That's what we want to do. And I'm going to say it should have display flex with flex direction of column because everything inside of it, we want it to go down. Yo, what's up, David? David's in the house, guys. Let David know if you're excited for some more MERN builds. And that's going to be insane. So let him know right now. He's in the chat. Have a chat with David. And we love you, David. Awesome stuff, man. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and give it a background color. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a little background color. So now you can see it's taking up 35% of the screen and it works as we wanted, right? Then I'm going to give it a border right. So let's go here and give it a border right, 1 pixel solid light gray. You see it's very subtle, but it kind of gives that nice little design trait, right? Okay, so next thing is the header. So I'm going to go ahead and pop a snippet in over here. So we're going to go here and I'm going to go and say sidebar header should have display flex, align the items centrally. The padding should be 10 pixels and a height of 50 pixels. Okay. And then for the avatar, right, I want to have this clickable. So right now it doesn't look like it's clickable. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to give this a class name so I can style it in an easier way. I'm going to say sidebar __ avatar, bam, naming convention in for the win. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste it here. So it says sidebar avatar, cursor pointer margin 10 pixels. Now you can see, look at that. Gives me a nice little, like the cursor changes to that finger, right? So that's going to be a lot more of a nicer user experience. Okay, so that's looking good. Now what we're going to do is get this input looking nice, right? So the sidebar input, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to make this a bit easier for you guys to see. Actually, so this is the sidebar input and we're styling it down here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say sidebar __ input. And I'm going to say, oops. I'm going to say display flex, boom. And then you can see everything gets pulled in centrally. I'm going to say align item center. And then I'm going to say justify content center as well, because I want everything to kind of be centered equally as it gets bigger. I'm going to say flex 1. I want this to take up the most room in that container. You might not tell now, but if I make this bigger, I mean, it's limited to 35%, but you always want to have it being responsive if something changes. Background color, let's go ahead and give it a background color. Save that. And you can see we're starting to get this little background color over here. Hadi says, hello, Sonny. What's up, dude? Good to see you here. And then we're going to go ahead and change the color of the text to gray. So I'm going to go ahead and say color gray. And then I'm going to say border radius of 5 pixels, right? Now you're probably wondering, this don't look nothing like this, right? So how do we get it to the finishing stage right now? We're going to go ahead and target the inner input, because right now we're targeting the div. So here I'm going to say sidebar input and then target the inner input. And we're going to go ahead and say border of none. Save it. Okay. It's looking a little bit better. And then I'm going to go ahead and say background transparent. Okay. Okay. That's looking clean. And then the final thing is, you see when I click it, we get this horrible blue outline. So to get rid of that, we go here and we say outline width and make it a 0. Save it. And now, boom, we don't get the outline width. Right. So that's a neat little trick for you guys. So we can go ahead and save it. And then I'm going to go ahead and check also the input button, right? So the input button, everything's good now. Yeah, dope. Awesome. So with that said, now we're going to go to the sidebar chats, right? So the sidebar chats. So this section right here. Now in this section is where we have everything looking like this, right? So we have all these sort of sidebar chats individually, right? Hey, we got another super chat from Raghavendra. Thank you so much. It was my first ever super chat ever. Love your work on the MERN stack Tinder clone. Can you recommend me a framework for complete full stack React? So React's not a framework, but it's a library. But this is all you need to go ahead and get the front end built out, and then you can pretty much go ahead and use Firebase, or you can use the MERN stack to go ahead and build the back end. But the one that you're looking for is React. Awesome. So John Zenef says, hi, Papa React, hashtag some React is waving, loving it. Hey, what's up, dude? Good to see you here. All right, so now what we're gonna do is bring in the energy back into the room. Also, guys, if you haven't already, smash the thumbs up button, get this video out to as many people as possible. We're nearly at 400 likes, so thank you so much, guys. And we're gonna keep the energy high today. So sidebar chats, right? So over here, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to have a sidebar chat component. So here I'm going to say sidebar chat, right? So sidebar chat, and then I'm going to go ahead and create it. Now each of these sidebar chat components is going to resemble one of these rows. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create this file. So I'm going to say sidebar chat, so sidebar chat.js. There we go. And I'm going to do RFCE. And there we go. We've got the sidebar chat. I'm going to say import, boom, sidebar chat.css. Right, and save it. I'm going to go back down here. Change this to say class name equals sidebar chat. Oops, sidebar chat. There we go. That's everything set up with that. Now, filing kind of old, only program plain just not React. Don't worry, dude. If you're a beginner to this stuff, then you don't worry. Just get started with these clones and you'll be enough. Thank you so much, Prashun, for the donation. Appreciate that, dude. 11-year-old and you're donating. Literally, a smash of the thumbs up button is all we ask, and that is cool, man. Sonu Sharma says, learn Flexbox in your life is much easier. 100%, 100%. Like, it's gonna help you out, dude. Right. So sidebar chat. So with the sidebar chat component, what we want to do is we're going to have a few areas of this, right? So the sidebar chat is this component right here. Now here, we're going to have an avatar. So I'm going to go ahead and add in an avatar inside. Oops. So an avatar inside. Auto import, save the file. And now you can see we've got an avatar, right? I mean, it's not rendering it out right now, but if I go ahead and import this, it says cannot resolve sidebar CSS, right? So sidebar chat, we need to create that file, save it, go back, and then you can see it as soon as I refresh, we can see it, it's there, right? So avatar done. Next thing we want to do is we want to have the sidebar chat info, right? So sidebar chat info is this bit right here. So all of this stuff I'm going to consider as the information. So that's why we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh shit, dude, this is awesome, man. Pika Tichong, so sorry if I said that wrong, Oshong, says, thank you very much. I obtained a long-term contract, 40,000 euros a year, thanks to your Netflix and Amazon clone. That's another one added to the list of people to get a job. That's amazing stuff, dude. Everyone go ahead and give Pika a massive congratulations. That's awesome stuff, dude. Really, really amazing. There's also another one I saw. I can't find it now, but somebody else had another success story. So Live Code says, how many years of experience do you have with React? At this point, I'd say maybe 4 years, maybe 4 years. Yeah, potentially, but it doesn't matter. Honestly, even if you have 1 month, you can make money with that, right? So you just need to keep the positive energy. You don't need a huge amount of experience. You just need to start, right? Next thing we're gonna do is create sidebar. So I'm gonna say sidebar chat __ info, right? And inside of here, we're gonna have a H3 with a channel name. So it's gonna say channel name. And this will obviously be like one of these, like, yo, testing, test, wow, YouTube, and so forth. And then I'm gonna have a P tag. This is gonna have the last message that was sent. So imagine if I'm inside of this and we say ABC, See, it says ABC because it's the last message that was sent. So I'm going to say last message sent ... Keep the suspense, you know. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a small tag. So it's just a small piece of text. And this is going to be a timestamp, right? So again, it's going to be like a little timestamp in the corner. I'm just going to add it in for now like this, right? With that said, we're going to go and style this to make it look a little bit more like this right now. Okay. Thank you so much. Roshni Barad says, love all your videos. Keep it up. Keep up the support, dude. Really appreciate you. What happens after you log in? Refresh after login. Jonathan, check this out, dude. So I'm logged in right now. If I refresh, boom, logs me in. We have persistence with Redux and Google authentication. So it's really powerful. Okay. Going back to the React Redux. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to open up our sidebar chat.css. Sidebar chat. And then here, I'm going to start coding the styles. First thing I want to do is say .sidebar chat. And then open parentheses, display flex. And then I'm going to say align items centrally. And then save it. And you can see everything goes into a line, right? Then I'm going to say padding. I'm going to say 20 pixels. I want to give it a bit more spacing around it. I'm going to give it a border bottom of 1 pixel light gray solid. Do that, boom, gives that a nice thing. And then I also want it to have a cursor when I hover over it, right? Because we want that sort of nice user experience. So cursor pointer. And then there we go. So somebody says, how is this build different from WhatsApp clone apart from the UI? So firstly, the WhatsApp clone wasn't built with Redux. The WhatsApp clone was built with the React Context API. So no, it's going to be a little bit different to that. Secondly, we have a few other elements. So the build is slightly different to the WhatsApp clone. But yeah, the main thing here is Redux is powering it also. Redux is the thing that's going to land you the job as opposed to somebody who won't get the job. Redux is something which you're going to need when you're applying for professional jobs. And I really recommend you learn it right now. So starting with this clone. Prashun, thank you so much, dude. He says donated 20 I think it's rupees in your iMessage clone. You guys are taking such great efforts to make these brilliant tutorials. This is just a small token of appreciation, dude. For an 11-year-old, thank you so much, man. That is really, really awesome. Thank you. Going back, I'm going to make a hover effect. I'm going to say when we hover over it, I'm going to change the background color to blue and the color of the text to white. Let's go ahead and do that. Save it. And now you can see we get this. So you see we're building this pretty fast, man. So now if I go ahead and hover over it, looks really good. Okay. We're almost at 500 likes as well, guys, at 402. So let's keep pushing that like count and get this video out to as many people as possible. Oh, nice. Many says maybe a suggestion for next video is to use styled components. 100%. Style components, React Native, something fun coming, right? Next thing we're going to do is style the info section. So here I'm going to go ahead and say sidebar info. Go ahead and hide the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a margin left. Because right now it's touching the avatar right here. I don't want that. I'm going to say margin left of 15 pixels. Okay, save it. It pushes it slightly away. That's nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and do position relative because I want that timestamp inside afterwards to be on the top right. I'm also going to say width of 100%. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to target the small tag that we added in inside of this. I'm going to say, go inside the container, the info container and the small tag. And I'm going to say, make it position absolute. But because we made the parent relative, it's actually not going to behave in a crazy way, right? If I do this and I say top 5 pixels away from the top, now you can see it sticks to the top. If I say go to the right of 0, and now you see the timestamps over there, right? So this is how we do these kind of things, right? And we get those little things in place. So as a young person, can I still make money programming? Dude, 100 billion%. We have people inside of Profit with JavaScript right now, right? Let me just send a message out right now. If you're young, if you're old, it doesn't matter what the case, right? Whatever age you are, yeah. If you're here right now, so you're starting off that coding journey, okay? Now it just followed up with another one. So he's 11 years old, and he says, "What do I need to know to start coding, to start learning React?" Whoa, dude. Damn, that's a big donation. That's I'm not sure how much that is, dude. But thank you so much, and I'll answer the other question afterwards. But William Wong says, you are giving me clean and clear understanding for modern JavaScript development without tons of reading docs. So thank you very much, and the PWJ community. William Wong, thank you, dude. And we love the energy that people like you bring into the community. So amazing, amazing stuff. Really, really appreciate that big donation, dude. Now, back to the question as to if you're young and you're on a code. What I would say is, look, you're here right now, you're in the right place, right? What I also want you to do right now, and this is everyone watching right now, go into the description, sign up to the free training, right? The free webinar training. The reason being, because that is a free training, guys, and that's going to allow you to go ahead and get more free value. So if you haven't already signed up to that, make sure you go ahead and do it. Let me know in the comments after you've done that, right? And then go ahead and check it out. Also, somebody says, hey Sonny, what do you think would be a great way to not lose touch with an old programming language you've learned? For example, you're learning JavaScript and you're forgetting Python. Okay, very good question, but I will quickly answer this one, then we'll carry on with the build, right? What I would say to this question is, you're never actually going to go ahead and learn. You're never going to go ahead and forget, the languages before. So for example, I've coded in Python plenty of times before, but I haven't coded it in ages. Doesn't mean I forgot Python, but if you understand programming principles, well, for example, data types, like what is an array? What is a for loop? What is a loop? What is a what is an if condition, and a for loop and things like that. Then as long as you know that, right, then those things are transferable. It doesn't matter what language you're coding in, right? They're just pretty much, you can go ahead and hop between them, and it really doesn't matter. So if I need to code in Python tomorrow, you can pretty much use all the skills I have from today and pretty much go ahead and pick up Python really quick. So that's why when I'm going to go ahead and mess around with React Native again. React Native is JavaScript, so it's going to be very easy to transition over to, but also things like Flutter. Flutter is something which I would recommend going ahead and checking out. Gabriel Graves says, that big donation by William Wong was $19.35. Dude, amazing. Thank you so much. And appreciate it. Taruna Coogan says, thank you so much, bro. Thank you, dude, for watching. Yeah, I love the energy today, guys. Really, really positive stuff, right? So this is looking good, right? So we can pretty much, all of these avatars, we can go ahead and customize it with a picture in a bit. For now, what I'm going to do is go back to this sidebar.js. I'm going to go ahead and copy it and basically just paste it out to test it. So imagine we had a bunch of channels. There you go. We can pretty much, this is starting to look a lot like our build, right? Now, if I was to go ahead and spam this thing so that it goes a bit longer, you see it, we kind of broke the page, right? The page isn't really working in the way we expect it to. So to fix this, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our sidebar.css, sorry. And what I'm going to do is target sidebar chats. So sidebar.css, I'm going to pull this underneath. And I'm going to target sidebar chats. And inside of sidebar chats, what I'm going to say is I'm going to say overflow scroll, right? So as soon as I do that now it has a scrolling functionality, right? So that's a lot more cleaner and would be really, really like much more of a nice user experience. Doesn't look broken anymore, right? So, and also I don't want this horrible scroll bar, but I want to keep the scrolling functionality, right? Right. So Sankit Dev says, I've signed up for the webinar. It's in 1 minute. I'm now confused whether to watch this or the webinar. So honestly, for the webinar, we show that quite a few times. So don't worry, watch this for now, and then you can watch the webinar afterwards. So yeah, that's a good way of doing it. A lot of people said, can we expect React Native builds later on? 100%, dude. React Native is coming later on. Somebody says, do you need to learn vanilla JavaScript before learning React? I would recommend learning the basics. We do teach the basics inside of Profit with JavaScript. If you're interested in joining, cleverprogrammer.com/PWJ. Right. Okay, so overflow scroll. So there's a little trick that I want to show you guys, and what you can do is there's a snippet of code I'm going to pop in here, and this right here, the top one hides the scroll bar for Chrome, Safari, and Opera. The bottom one holds it for Internet Explorer, Edge, and Firefox, the ones we don't really care about. And we'll start a war with that. But then what we're going to do is save it, and you can see now we get all that space back, right? So that's a lot cleaner, but you still have that scrolling functionality, right? So that's a lot nicer way of doing it. We're going to use props to basically customize these so that way they can have different values, but that's a step for afterwards. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just have like 3 so we don't overly overload this. But right now, there you go. We've done the sidebar, right? So the sidebar is now done. Amazing stuff. We're at 432 likes. We're moving through this build pretty fast. Somebody says React hooks are confusing. Can you please explain it better? I will explain it when we get to that point. And yeah, for sure, dude. So now we're going to create the chat component. So this part right here on the right hand side. So for the chat, what we're going to do, we're going to go into iMessage.js where we have the build. Going to get rid of my comment over here. And I'm going to create the chat component. So if I save it, it goes ahead and it freaks out because we don't have chat. So I'm going to go ahead and say chat.js, do my neat little RFCE trick, go back, and I'm going to go to the top and say import chat.css. Go there, create another file. Oh God, create another file. Oh no, don't do that. Go to source, go back down here, create another chat.css. There we go. Make sure you don't make a mistake like that, okay? Will all these videos be free on YouTube forever? Yes, dude, they're going to be free forever, right? All of these videos are going to stay up on YouTube, free for you guys. They're just pretty much to drop value for you guys. So if you like that, smash the thumbs up button. That's it. That's all we ask, right? And that will help these free videos get out to as many people as possible. So it can help our mission of 5,000 developers, right? Appreciate you, Anupam. So it says, Sir Sonny, really appreciate your work and God bless Team CP. Thank you, dude. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this comment and save it. And then I'm going to import the chat component. Boom. Go to chat.js. And here I'm going to go ahead and say class name, chat. Okay. Now inside of here, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and where we have this right here, I'm going to go ahead and do the following. So we have inside of the chat, we have the header, right? So the first thing we do is we have this header. So the chat header, and then we have the chat sort of body or the chat messages. So this section right here, and then we have the chat input, right? So there's 3 sections here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and you know how we do it. We like to draft things out. So I'm going to go ahead and first do this. I'm going to say chat header. Then we have the chat messages. And then we have the chat input. Okay. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Nathan, for the positivity. Let's keep that energy high. We're holding on to 300 viewers. This is insane. Victoria Code says, hi Sonny, you're one hell of an amazing teacher. Thanks for giving us such valuable content. Appreciate you, Victoria Code, and really nice to see you here. Thank you so much for the kind words. So the top part, chat header, we're going to go ahead and use emits. We're going to say chat__ header, BEM naming convention for the win. And then you can see it pops up. And then we're going to have a H4 inside. And this is going to be responsible for this part right here. How is the music making you tired, dude? This music should be awakening you up, right? I mean, if I up it right now, I think I wake some people up, you know. But then we're going to go ahead and do H4. And here I'm going to say 2. And this would actually be the name of the room you're in. So for example, if we're inside the YouTube name, it'll say 2 YouTube, but here I'm going to say 2, and we're just going to say channel name for now. Okay. So these are all kind of placeholders for now. Right. Then I'm going to go ahead and render this on iMessage. So save it. Where is it? Oh yeah. So you see right now it's underneath here. So you guys can't actually see this, but it's actually popped underneath. The reason why that's happened is because if we go to iMessage, we need to go ahead and go into our iMessage.css. And I need to do the following. I need to say iMessage display flex, save it, and boom, that happens because it's flex. So it's flex row. Oh man, Ahmed Mohammed says, Sonny, I can meet you in London. I'm from Tottenham. Hey, let's go, United Kingdom crew. Mohammed Shahzad says, hi Sonny, you're an amazing dude, master in React. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. So this is actually the music that I'm listening to right now is actually part of I can't remember the service we use. I will find that out though, but I think it's basically the YouTube copyright free music, and that's the one that we use. And I found a nice little rhythm that kind of goes with it. Thank you so much. Addy Meister goes, hi Sonny, this is my first time watching your stream in a while. Love, brother, keep smashing them. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the positivity. And guys, we're almost at 500 likes. This is insane. Let's keep going. All right, so iMessage, let's go ahead. Oh dude, this is for you. Amazing. So I've been into React and Redux lately, and often it seems like setting up Redux to work is pretty annoying. Yes, Redux is annoying to set up. Go ahead and rewind this once this is finished. I show you how to use Create React app with the Redux template. Makes it so easy. Honestly, it makes it so easy. Right. So now we've got the channel name right here. So I'm going to go back into the chat, and then we're going to carry on. So here I'm also going to have a strong tag. So strong tag. The team are having a team meeting on a team lunch on Zoom. I feel left out right now. Damn it. So we got details, and then we can see here. So 2 channel names details, and then inside of here we're going to go ahead and style this right now. So I'm going to get rid of this comment, and I'm going to also, so where it says the channel name, I'm going to span a style here because I want to style this up. So I'm going to say span. And I'm going to move channel name, the contents of this, to here. And then I'm going to give this a class name so that I love this comment, dude. Sankit Dalvi says, Sonny is a treasure that we all must protect. That's amazing. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate you. So funny. All right. Nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give this a chat __ name, because it will be like the chat name, channel name, right? So that looks good. And I guess the next step naturally is to go ahead and style the top part. So chat, got a new mouse, I'm getting used to it, right? And then we've got this, I'm going to say for the chat, what I want is I want to have display flex, right? Display flex direction is going to be column, save it. And flex is going to be 0.65. Now, why is it 0.65? Because remember, this is 0.35, this is 0.65, right? Because we want to take up the remainder of the room. I'm then going to say a height of 100 view height, and I'm going to say background color of white. Right, save it, boom, right? Trust me, it'll make sense in a bit why I set it to white. Now for the chat header, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, copy and paste this snippet in right here. Okay, so saving this, and you can see now it says padding at 20 pixels, display flex, justify content space between, bottom border, and a background color. Right, now let's debug it because something's gone wrong here. So I don't actually know what went wrong here, but you see we haven't actually got this right here. Yeah, we haven't actually got this like this should be filling out the bit over here. So something went wrong, right? So we're going to debug this. Let's get into the debugging sort of mood, right? So I like to get a bit serious when we debug. So now we're going to go ahead and find out why isn't this stretching all the way over here? So I'm going to go ahead and find out why, okay? So this is where it gets tense, guys, right? Because I'm not actually sure why that's not stretching over there. So I'm going to refresh to make sure that I've exhausted everything, okay? And then what we're going to do is chat header right now should go ahead and let's see. So the header right now, it should be flex, okay? 0.65, save it. Oops, no, I don't want that. What did I change? Oh, damn it. Right, so chat sits inside of iMessage, right? iMessage has sidebar and chat inside of it. So let's open up our sidebar. .css, and then here we've got 0.35, right? So display flex, okay. What we could do is we could say at this point, we could say width. I don't really want to do width of 100%. I don't really like to do that approach, right? But why is that happening? So we've got flex 0.65, right? It's even more stressful when you're live. Imagine how I feel, guys, when I'm live and something don't work. Right, I'm going to inspect it now. So I'm going to show you guys how I do this. So I'm going to go ahead, pull this out, because what we want is this, where it takes up the entire space, right? And I'm not sure why it's not. So maybe parent should be, see, some people are saying should be 100%, but you see the chat. So this is actually flex 0.35. This is flex 0.65. The parent is display flex, right? But then the width of iMessage, no. Width of iMessage, width of app.css. Oh, I see why. I see why. All right. So notice how app, we've done display flex. There it is. All right. So I'm going to move myself out of the way. App, there it is, guys. That is why. So we found the issue. So you see that? I didn't need display flex on the app. It was because I then nested it inside of iMessage where we had display flex. So this was stopping me from using all of the space. So we did it, guys. We fixed the bug. Hey, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button if that was some fun. I thought that was pretty cool. Honestly, that was actually something unplanned for. I didn't realize that was going to happen, but we did it. So let's carry on. All right. I'm going to go ahead and fix that now. So go back to our code, go back to app.css. I'm going to get rid of this. We don't need this one. Right, boom. Oh, somebody said the air horn. Dude, you are right, man. I haven't done the air horn in a while. Let's go. Is that loud? Why is that so quiet? All right, let me go ahead and let me do it one more time, right? 3, 2, 1, and okay. That blew my head off, but we're back. All right. Carrying on. All right. So honestly, that was actually something pretty cool because that's like a real life example of where I ran into a debugging issue and we kind of went through it and solved it together. So hope you guys enjoyed that. We're 15 likes away from 500 likes. So smash the thumbs up button if you enjoyed that live debugging session. Bit of fun as well with the music. Okay, now back into coding, right? So now we have that done. I'm going to go ahead and hide this. Himanshi said, yo, that horn sound, I know, dude, that woke me up as well. I think I woke my neighbors up, right? So we've got that looking pretty good, right? Now we're going to carry on styling it out. So here I'm going to say we're inside of chat.css. So right now I'm going to go ahead and style the chat header. So I'm going to say chat header, but I'm going to target the h4 element inside. So if we go into my chat, you'll see I've got the h4 here. So I'm going to go ahead and target the h4 and I'm going to say font weight of 500. So we want to reduce the weight. And then I'm going to go ahead and say color of gray. Boom. Right. And then you can see it changed the color a bit, right? But we spanned in this chat name, right? So chat name, we're actually going to go ahead and add a bit of styling to ourselves. And we're going to make this one. So if I go here and I say chat name, I'm going to say color black. And now you should see the channel name is actually black, right? You and the rest of the team are the best. Also, what do I need to know to start React? Just start, dude. Honestly, just start. Like, learn the basics on the fly. You can go ahead and do that. So yeah, just go ahead and start. Okay. Oh, somebody says, why do you use pixels versus rem? Very good question, actually. We'll touch on that in a different video, but we should. Rem is a good unit to use actually, but we're going to go ahead and do that at another video. Okay, so now we're going to go and build the chat messages section, right? So I'm actually going to leave this bit right here, the middle section. So where we actually have the messages, I'm going to leave that till after, but right now I'm going to build the input section at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to move myself a little bit and we're going to have the input section. Yeah, this is a good point. Stop repeating, and I'm literally gonna ignore you. I can see when people constantly keep copying and pasting stuff, right? Now I can see somebody spamming the chat. You're getting blocked, dude. Like, don't do that stuff, right? Yeah, you're blocked. So yeah, sorry about that, but you know, yeah, asking for it when you play around like that. So don't go ahead and do that because we want everyone to have, you know, we want everyone to sort of be to get value from this, as opposed to, you know, just messing around. Also, Elizabeth, you just earned moderator rights, so feel free to block people. Right, so now we're going to go ahead and for the chat input, I'm going to first do chat input, and then I'm going to say div chat underscore input. Right, and then here I'm going to have a form, because we like to have the submit functionality where you basically hit the enter key inside the input field. I'm going to have an input field, and I'm going to have a button which says send message. Now I will be hiding this button, but for now it doesn't matter. Okay, and the goal is we're going to change this to look like this thing down here. Right, so it's going to eventually look like this very nice user input form at the bottom. So this iMessage, where it says this bottom thing right here, we're going to have that looking very nice at the end. So somebody says, why is it free and we have paid for PWJ? So this is actually this is not a coaching call, guys. And also PWJ has a ton more than what we offer on YouTube. So if you think YouTube is good, we have all the modules inside of Profit with JavaScript. We have coaching calls, we have one-to-one access, we have a community of amazing people inside there. Everything that is available inside the course in Profit with JavaScript is not available here, right? So yeah, right. So now what we're going to do is have, I'm going to change the input placeholder to say iMessage. Save it. And now you should see it say iMessage inside. The button, we're going to go ahead and fire off a function called send message, because the whole point is that when we click that, it should send a message. Okay. So we haven't written this function yet, so I'm going to write that in a sec. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say const send message, takes an event, and it fires off an arrow function. Then we're going to do e.prevent default, because if I don't do this, right, I'll show you what happens. So if I type in, hit enter, see it refresh. So watch this bit at the top. Boom, 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 enter. And it just disappears, right? So that's going to be like, we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to have that. Hey, Logan's in the house. What's up, Logan? Good to see you, dude. Logan's absolutely killing it, and we work with him daily. So good, awesome guy. He's inside of Profit with JavaScript as well. Right. So we're actually going to go ahead and create the send message, but we don't want that refresh, right? We're going to do e.prevent default. Thank you so much, Lloyd, for the kind words. Prevent default. Oh God, what have we done here? Prevent default, like this. Go back, save it, and then down here, basically this is where we do all the sort of Firebase magic. So this is going to be Firebase magic in a bit. And yeah, now we want to kind of keep track of when I'm typing in, right? So as I'm typing in here, I want to keep track of what's sort of like, I'm going to keep track of this input inside of state. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the following. So I'm going to go ahead and say const. I'm going to use the use state hook. So I'm going to introduce a piece of state. And thank you, Ankit. He goes, hey, you are doing a great job, man. Thank you. Appreciate that, dude. I'm going to create a piece of state called input, and I'm going to say set input. And guys, don't, please don't. I'm going to just, you're getting blocked. Like, it really annoys me when I see stuff like that, right? Go ahead, and now we're going to go and do input set input, and I'm going to say equals use state, right? I'm going to import it from React while we're at it. So you see we imported it at the top, and this is going to initially be an empty string, right? Now to map it to the input field, I'm going to say value equals input, and then I'm going to say on change equals e set input, and it's going to be e.target.value, right? Font size really needs to increase. Okay, so we can make it a bit bigger. I mean, guys, yeah, I mean, I do make it this way, but like when we're doing huge builds, I don't like it to be so in your face, but that's pretty good, I think. Okay. Okay, next we're gonna go ahead and have, also guys, bear in mind, like imagine you're doing a build and then you're doing like checking the comments and you're doing all this other stuff. It's a lot to take in, you know, it's a lot to process and do that. Lloyd says, Sonny, man, dude, you just give the best of the React. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you watching, Lloyd. Thank you so much. Logan says, I got my second PC and up and running with CentOS 7 running SSH 7 on boot, so I can remote into it with VS Code on Windows. Damn, that's jacked, man. Nice. He goes, kind of awesome. I have real Linux in my VS Code terminal. That's dope, man. I like that. That's awesome stuff, dude. Right. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to have the send message over here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say, I want to basically, after I send the message, I'm going to set the input to be an empty string. So now if we see, if I go here and type something in and hit enter, see it actually clears out the contents, right? So that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do now is actually go ahead and have this and this halfway. I'm going to style this input field so it looks like the beautiful finished input field down here that we see at the bottom. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and also please stop asking the same question. Sonny, any particular reason for using search icon rather than search? No, dude, it was just a case of it was the one that I found and it worked for me. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and do chat.cs. Also, guys, don't focus on that stuff. Like, you should be looking at the build, not that stuff. Like, honestly, if you're focusing on what my import was as opposed to like what the actual functionality is I'm doing, you like, you know, pay attention to the right areas, right? That's what you need to kind of pay attention to, correct areas. So I'm going to open up my chat.css, and here I'm going to go ahead and say .chat input, right? And I'm going to say display flex. And I'm going to go ahead and say align item center. And then I'm going to go ahead and say padding 10 pixels. Oh God, padding 10 pixels, 20 pixels, which means 10 pixels left and right, 20 pixels, 10 pixels top and bottom, and 20 pixels left and right. Okay. Then I'm going to say border top 1 pixel solid light gray. Boom, save that. And I'm going to say background color white. Nice. Oh no, gray, sorry. I want to be gray. Okay. Then what I'm going to say is I'm going to target the form and I'm going to give it a flex of 1, right? Because I want the form to take up the most input, the most space. So I'm going to say flex 1, and that will actually go ahead and it'll push it as far as it can be pushed. And what we need to then do is say target the form and then the input inside the form. Give it a width of 98%, outline width of 0, border 1 pixel light gray, border radius 999, so it gives it a rounded effect, and a padding of 5 pixels. As soon as I save this, watch this. Boom. Looks nice, right? And then for the button, I'm going to go ahead and target the button. So inside the form, inside the button, do display none, because we don't actually want the button there. So now if I type in enter, we get a nice sort of functional working input tool. Okay. So that's really, really good. Tushar Desai says, you are great at multitasking. Great work, man. Honestly, dude, you get really good at it. Thank you for noticing that. But yeah, like I've got a stream deck as well, so I can basically go like this. Any second I can go ahead and just do like fun stuff like this. I can say, oh shit, things are gonna get real, you know? Like you can do all this kind of fun stuff. But you get really good. I'm doing things with my left hand, things with my right hand. It's crazy. But yeah, back to the build. Binny says, you give me hope that I could become a programmer. Thank you. That's awesome, man. Or girl. Thank you so much for that. Code Kid says, man, you are epic. Guys, your energy is insane today. Really, really thank you. And also with that said, we just broke over 500 likes on this video. Amazing stuff, guys. Thank you all for watching. And I really do appreciate and love each and every one of you. Right. Nice. Gonna go ahead and switch it back to this music. I prefer this music. All right. So now back to chat.js. I'm gonna then actually so outside this form, going back to chat.js, outside this form, I'm gonna have a mic button. Okay. So if you notice at the bottom of our build, we have this little mic, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and add that in. But it's also an icon button, which means, remember I showed you that neat little trick earlier, so it makes it a nice clickable button, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and first pop this in. So I'm going to say boom. I'm going to give it a class name so I can target it easier. I'm going to say chat __mic. and I'm going to do this. And now outside this, I'm going to say icon button, right? And then everything inside of here should be mic like this. Right now for the icon button, I'm going to import it. Same for this. I'm going to import this, but this one I need to actually import the top. So I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to go ahead and pop it in there. Save it. Boom. So Shank says, this is the best one. Keep doing this, bro. Nice. Thank you. Khalid says, we're pumped. Nice. That's it, man. Keep this energy high. And there you go, guys. Look at that. We have that nice looking logo on the right. Okay, that's looking good, right? Now I'm going to show you a really neat little trick. If you build things in the correct way, actually implementing the functionality isn't that bad, right? So we have the chat messages. I'm going to get rid of the comment here. So now I'm going to build out the chat underscore messages here. And inside of here, we're just going to have a bunch of messages. So like imagine this just says H2 of like, I am a message. Save it. And then you see it's like, I am a message. I'm going to add a bunch of these in, right? I want this one to always take up this middle space. So this should always be pushed to the bottom. In order to do that, what I do is I go into my chat.css and I go ahead and target chat messages and I just say flex one, because the flex direction of this entire parent is column, which means it should push to say use up as much room as possible. And we get that functionality. So that looks really, really good. Akshat says, you look a bit burnt out. Videos are super amazing. Love the effort you are putting in. Appreciate the consideration, dude. I'm all good though. I'm all good. Thank you so much for asking. Right. So now what I'm going to do is go back to chat.js and I am going to, this is the next bit. So where do we focus our attention to now? Let's go ahead and create the login section right now. Okay. So login section for now. So let's go back to our app.js. So here I'm going to say app.js. I'm going to go back here. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to use Redux here. So Redux, I'm not going to actually go through fully of what Redux does, because yesterday's build, we extensively went over some of the Redux stuff. So you can go ahead and watch that one and then today's one, but I'm going to go ahead and break it down in a nice way for you guys so it's easy to understand. So I'm going to go into features, counter slice. I'm going to rename counter slice. So everything that says counter, I'm going to call this the user slice. Okay. So user. Now the initial state of the user slice is going to be user. And then here, I don't need any of this stuff. I just want to go ahead and get rid of all these comments. I'm simplifying my code right now. And here I'm going to have, actually, no, let me keep one of these. I'll show you why. I'm going to go ahead and change this one to log out and this one to log in. And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. And this should be state.user equals, and then we'll change this in a sec. And then when we log in, it's state and it passes an action. Just follow this refactoring step and it will make a lot of sense. Okay. And then this will be log out. Get rid of this because we export it so we can use it outside. I'm going to get rid of all this crap. I'm going to get rid of all of this. I'm going to say select. So this is my selectors here. So this is how I access my state afterwards. And then, yeah, that's how we get everything up and running. Okay. So with that done, I'm going to go ahead and go back to app store.js. I'm going to change everything here. So this will go ahead and I'm going to change this over here to user reducer, right? And then it's going to freak out because we haven't got that file. Okay. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go down to counter slice, rename. I'm going to change this to become user slice. Save it. Boom. Now we have it. See, everything's working. Now to test this works, I'm going to open up my dev tools. So I'm going to inspect, go to Redux, and we should see if I go to the state, we now have a user. So I'm going to make this a bit more visible for you guys. I know my face is in the way. So we've got the user where the user is 0 right now. So that's perfect. Okay. So the user, we don't actually want to be 0. I'll just go ahead and show you how we fix that in a sec. But now what we do is we go here and the user is not going to be 0. By default, the user is no. Okay. Then what we're going to do is this is just going to be action.payload and this will make sense afterwards. And this, when we log out, the user gets reset to no. That's what we do. Right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and quickly give you a quick rundown. So this is a quick illustration of what we've done here. So this build is using something called Redux, right? Now, what is Redux? Redux is essentially, imagine we have a bunch of components inside of our app. So this is a component called app.js, right? And then everything else is kind of rendered underneath it, right? So we have like the chat component, the header component, the sidebar component, all of these things, right? We have chat, we have sidebar, we have header. I mean, everything's actually inside of iMessage, but you know, you get the point. And then we have message and so forth. Now, imagine we have all these things, right? So everything gets rendered here. And then you also have more components underneath here, right? So you can have different things being rendered off of these components and vice versa, right? Now, imagine we had a login component over here, right? Now imagine we had, when we do the login, we get a user object, right? What if I want to use the user object over here? So what if I want to use the user object over here, right? If I want to use the user object over here, how the hell do I get from here, all the way over here, right? It's kind of annoying. I kind of have to do this long journey of somehow getting so maybe I initialize the user over here and I pass the setter down there. And then I have to do something called prop drilling, pass it to this component and then pass it to this one. And if I want it over here, I need to pass it down to this one. And then you can already see this is getting super messy, right? We don't want to do any of this. So what we can do is we can introduce something called a data layer or something like Redux, right? So Redux kind of essentially surrounds the app, right? So this is essentially Redux. And now Redux is essentially like an onion. So imagine like an onion. So this is an onion surrounding our app. Now an onion has different slices inside of it. Now each slice inside of Redux resembles different contexts or like different things inside of our app. So we have a user slice, and this is going to be responsible for all of the user information. And we have something like an app slice. This is going to be all the generic information about the app. And we can have something like a basket slice. And this would basically be, so I'm just going to say basket slice, right? And this would essentially be all of the things inside of the basket. So you see, and these all belong inside of the layers of the onions, right? And then what we can do now is when we get a login, when we get the user at this side, what we can do is we can actually push the user into the data layer. So inside of this, and then anywhere inside the app. So if I want the user over here, what I can do is I can just grab the user. So the user is part of the data layer. I can grab the user and just use them in this component. And if I need to use the user over here, I can go ahead and grab the user out of the data layer here. So you see, once we have it, we don't need to pass props around and things like that. We can just kind of push things into the data layer by dispatching actions like the login action to get the user into the data layer. And then we can pull out the user wherever we want. And in order to do this, we use something called a selector. So in this case, it will be like select user. Okay, so I hope that makes a bit of sense. And if it doesn't, feel free to go ahead and check out yesterday's build, and that's going to help you guys quite a lot. Nice. I saw somebody says onion incoming. Nice. I love how you guys know what's coming now. So that's going to help you guys understand things a little bit more. Okay. Asha Ali says, you guys rock, makes it easy to understand, really appreciate it. Right. So with that done and said, I'm going to go ahead and create this right here. So we've done that now. The next thing is I'm also going to go ahead and prepare something as well. So somebody says, so what is the disadvantages of using the context API at this point? So the disadvantages are, so there's not disadvantages, it's more like Redux is more powerful. So we, for one, we have these beautiful Redux dev tools. So over here, we have nice little Redux dev tools where, and trust me, this comes in very, very handy later on. So we're going to be using that today. Also, you split your pieces of state into different like areas. So for example, the basket slice, the user slice, the app slice, and things like that. So it's a lot more. Oh, this is a good question actually. So Logan says, so is Redux like an object that has pointers from app.js and all its children? So think of it as like global state. So as an easier way of thinking it, right? So global state, and then all the children beneath app.js or pretty much inside of your app have access to that global state. Think of it that way. You dispatch an action to go ahead and manipulate that global state, and then you use selectors to pull from that global state, right? So in other words, always accessible. Yes, pretty much, exactly. So we have like things like the user is always accessible from any component inside of the app. So I think that's going to help everyone out. Natia Play says, last time your video helped me a lot. Thanks. Awesome stuff. Jennifer says, hey Sonny. Oh, what's up, Jennifer? She says, I'm back after watching the Discord clone yesterday. I'm totally addicted. Amazing. We have Redux, Ashfax, loving this. Whoa, nice, dude. We just got a big donation, $10, man. Says, just gotten off. Oh, dude, I'm gonna, one sec. This needs some attention right now. Firstly, thank you so much from Dragon 8 Atom. He says, $10 donation, amazing. Right? He goes, just got an offer as a developer with a 20% salary raise and fully remote. Damn, dude. Nice. No more long journeys back home. All from the Amazon clone. Let's go, man. That's so sick. I love seeing stuff like that. Dude, if you can literally reach out to my Instagram, all right, reach out to my Instagram, hit me up and say, Sonny, I am Dragon at M4. I donated on your live stream. And pretty much just chat, man, because I love to see, like, if I can see some kind of proof or something like that, I'm going to add you to the count of 5,000 developers who have landed a job from our content. That's insane, man. And everyone, go ahead and drop him some love and some support in the chat right now. That's amazing. Smash the thumbs up button if you want to be like Dragon Atom. That is dope, dude. Amazing stuff. Right, Logan, interesting. I'd like to see a partially compiled React app with Redux to see how it's actually using Redux. I'm actually going to show you today, so stick around, Logan. And I'm going to show you when we actually dispatch actions, how it modifies the state inside of the app. And it's going to be pretty cool. David Atta says, Sonny, you get my job count before December ends. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Let's do it, David. Okay, this is awesome. Future Code says there's one sure thing. Persistent and keep building these clones, you will get a job. Many of us are proof, no matter what your background or level is, it's just a matter of time. Elizabeth is somebody I do one-on-one coaching with. Future Code, she literally landed a job and now she's doing coaching with me still to kind of keep her skills up to date and up to sort of scratch, but amazing. And this is truth, guys. Like there's proof in the pudding, right? So you don't need me to tell you, there's literally people doing this stuff and they're landing jobs left and right. And it makes me so happy to go ahead and hear that. Oh man, I think I talk like 20,000 words a minute when I'm bloody live. Okay, so Ashfax says, you're my inspiration and motivation to move to web development. Amazing, dude. Thank you so much. Blackout says, thank you. Appreciate you, dude. Oh, another job. Holy crap, dude. He says, Sonny, I got a job at a local startup, all thanks to your Spotify clone. Thanks a lot, man. Again, hit me up on my Instagram, dude. I want to go ahead and have a chat with you guys. This is insane. I love that. And well done. Again, guys, drop him some love. That's amazing to see that, right? We've got Kansas in the house. He goes, you're my coding inspiration. I'm from Kansas and we love you, dude. Appreciate that, dude. Amazing stuff. Right, back to the build. So here we have iMessage, right? So what we're going to do is actually go ahead and prepare the login flow. So firstly, I need to go ahead and set up Firebase. So I'm going to go to firebase.google.com. Make sure all you need is a Google account. I'm going to go to the console over here. I'm going to click on add project. Then I'm going to go ahead and say iMessage clone, right? I'm going to say iMessage clone YouTube. I'm going to enable Google Analytics. You don't need to enable Google Analytics, but you can if you want. I'm going to go ahead and create the project, right? Now, Nikhil says, Sonny, how can I do mentoring coaching with you? Just drop me a DM on my Instagram at SSSSanga. So the one that you can see on the screen, or here it might be easier to see. So you can see it over there. Go ahead, follow me, send me a DM just saying one-on-one coaching and pretty much we can have a conversation, dude. And yeah, and also send me an email as well to get the best chance of getting through to me. But yeah, that would be awesome. Nice. Right, so clicking on continue. Right, so next what we're going to do, we're going to click this little web button over here, and here I'm going to say iMessage clone YouTube, set up Firebase hosting, boom, register the app, right? Okay, so you dropped a DM. Nice. I get hundreds of DMs, so I'll go ahead and search through that. Maybe send me another one and I can pretty much see that. We're going to click next and continue to the console. Nice. People say why Firebase? Because Firebase has a real-time database. So we're going to use Cloud Firestore, which is like the NoSQL real-time database, a powerful version. It also has authentication. It has a bunch of stuff. You're trending number 4 for iMessage. Damn, let's go, man. Trending on YouTube as well. That's insane. All right, so we're going to go to authentication over here on the left. And the first thing we're going to do is click sign in method. What's up, Alexandra? It's good to see you, dude. Always recognize the face. So we're going to go to Google. I'm going to click enable. Okay. I need to enable an email. There we go. Click save. Okay. So that's done. And then I'm going to go to this little cog at the top, project settings. I'm going to go down to config and click the copy button. Okay. I'm going to head back over to my code now. And what I want to do is create a firebase.js file. So firebase.js, right? And here I'm going to pull up my terminal and I'm going to do npm I Firebase. I need to install Firebase into my project. Now, while that's doing, I'm going to paste and we've got the Firebase config. Then I'm going to say import Firebase from Firebase because we're literally installing it down below, as you can see down here. And while that's happening, guys, I can go ahead and set up the next thing. So I can go ahead and say const Firebase app equals Firebase.initialize app with that config. So this is basically going to use this like a key to get into the into our Firebase backend, right? So nice. He goes, man, you guys have energy doing all these tutorials. Yeah, man, the energy is high today. Let's go. Also here, thank you so much, Raj. He says superb video. Appreciate you watching, dude. Thank you so much. Logan, very good point here. He says Firebase is also classified as a backend as a service. So it's cutting down the work of the build considerably. 100 billion%. I couldn't agree with that more. Really nice way of doing it. Explaining it. Somebody says Firebase is so expensive. No, dude. Firebase is free, right? So, and also Google, if you ever watch this video, sponsor us, you know, get us in with the good rates. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say const db equals Firebase app.firestore. So that will go ahead and do it. Hey, if Khaled says, hey, Sonny, I'll DM you the offer letter I got. Keep an eye out for my Insta at the Reels Skies. Nice, dude. Go ahead and send that to me and that'll be awesome. Right. Okay. And this is a good point. Nikhil says, I feel like we need a journey of Papa React and how he reached the level and from what all resources. If you guys want to see that, I might actually start shooting some content on my YouTube channel, which goes behind kind of getting to know me a bit more, I guess, getting to know me, my story, that sort of stuff. If you guys want to see that, then let me know and I'll start shooting more content on my personal account. And, you know, it's just kind of fun, you know, like you guys can go ahead and see stuff more about me. If that sounds cool, let me know in the comments. All right. So, boom. And if you're not following me, Sonny Sanga on YouTube, go ahead and check it out. Right. So with that said, now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to say const auth equals firebase.auth, right? So this is all preparation. So this is already done. Nice. So many people are saying, damn, yes, honestly, start a vlogging channel. We would love to know more about you. Yeah, okay. I heard you, dude. Loads of people saying it, do it. It's cool. If you've subscribed to me, then keep an eye out, okay? Logan says, yeah, bro, you should just vlog on your days out. Yeah, you know what? I should, because me and Mabon are always doing fun stuff, going out and about. So I think that'll be awesome. Yeah, 100%. You guys cured my depression. Damn, love that. You also made me passionate about programming. Love your content. That's amazing. And I'm so glad to hear that we helped you out on that journey, right? The next thing we want to do, guys, is go ahead and go down here and say const provider equals new firebase.auth.google auth provider. So this is like where the magic happens to go ahead and connect it to somebody says, I love you, continue. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and export the two things. So we're going to export Sonny, can you mention these Firebase imports, exports? So they are mentioned, the method given by Firebase. Yeah. So all of these imports right here. So you see like this, where it's Firebase. This is all from Firebase. It's Firebase.initializing the app. Firebase app. This is using this, what we just initialized, to go ahead and grab the database, grab the authentication, and then we pretty much go ahead and get our authentication provider, right? So with this bit done, now what we're going to do is I'm going to export the authentication and the provider as something called a explicit export, and then we're going to do this as our default export. So export default DB. And the reason why I like to do the default as DB is because we use the DB a bit more. So I think it's always nice to kind of have the DB as your default. Okay. Firebase must just be one monstrous class. So honestly, even they kind of, once it's done and the hard work's done, they kind of like compile it into a very nice minified piece of code. And I think that's going to be, and that's what you end up looking at. So if I go ahead and I'll show you actually. So if I go ahead and click over onto Firebase, for example, and I click into it, you see like you get the actual TypeScript files. And you can see this is their kind of code behind the scenes. This is their type definitions. So it doesn't actually show you the code as such because the code is going to be inside of here. So you see this is what they do to their code. It's all minified. But yeah, you can see, but then they give you type definitions, and that's what gives VS Code the ability to go ahead and check out what is like available when you press like dot and things like that. Okay, so we've set up Firebase. That's all good. Now we go back to our chat, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do the login flow. Okay, so the login flow is inside of app.js. So here, right? So we're going to firstly create we've already got a user here. We've got the select user. So what I can do is I can actually use this. I can use the select user. So I'm going to pull the user here, and I'm going to say const user equals use selector. And this is from React Redux. So we need to go ahead and import it. And then I need to go ahead and say select user, and this will import it from features user slice. So we're basically going ahead and pulling the user. So by default, the user will be no. Okay, the user is going to be no by default, and that's going to go ahead and that's going to give you nice. Somebody says RZO movie trailer says this is cool. Glad you're enjoying it, dude. And if you are enjoying it and you're still with me, smash the thumbs up button. Almost at 600 likes. So we've got iMessage over here. And what I'm going to say is if you're logged in, so if there is a user, if the user exists, then what we're going to do is I'm going to say, then you render the app. So then we render it. Otherwise, yeah, I want to render something H2 saying you need to log in. Okay, you need to log in. We are going to have a logout flow. I just made it very discreet in the previous example. But for example, if we're here, all you do is you click on the actual icon at the top and it will log you out. And that's pretty much how it works. I'm just going to log in again. There we go. Going back. Boom. Right. So there we go. You see now what it does is it says, if there is a user, it will render the app. Otherwise, if there's not a user, so by default, there is no user, you need to log in, right? So this is a good place where we need to be right now. So now we're going to build the login page. So rather than saying you need to log in, I'm going to create a login component. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create that now. So go here, hide all this stuff. I'm going to say login.js, and I'm going to do RFCE. Boom, got it. And then here we're going to say import login.css. And then I'm going to go down here to div. I'm going to say class name equals login, right? And then inside of here, we're going to basically go ahead and build out our login. But firstly, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and say login.css. And then I'm going to go back to my app.js. And here I'm going to go ahead and import login like that. And now we should be rendering from our login component. So I'm going to go here and say login.js. Yeah, that interpolation is crazy, right? So that's actually called a ternary or a ternary operator, where you can have that sort of if this then that, right? You can have that as well. So that's really, really handy to go ahead and use that. So here we're going to have the login, login page, I guess, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have a login logo. So I'm going to have a login logo. Inside of here, I'm going to have an image. The image source, I've actually got an image over here. This is just pretty much a iMessage image. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in. Boom. It's a huge iMessage image. And then I've got a H2 underneath it, or H1, which is going to say iMessage, right? And this will pretty much be down here. So you can see it says iMessage. Underneath that, I'm going to have a material UI button, which says sign in. Okay. It says button is not defined. So I'm going to do my little trick. and then it says imported. And that trick is control spacebar, and it will go ahead and pop that up. So now we've got a nice little sign in button at the bottom. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is style this so that way it looks a little bit more presentable. So let's go to our login.css, and then let's go ahead and do login.css. So down here, I'm going to do .login, and I'm going to say display grid because we're using a grid, CSS grid here. I'm going to show you guys a neat little trick. So if I do place item center, this will actually position everything in the center, but you can't see that right now because it's not actually showing much. So I'm going to go ahead, target the inner div, the image, which is this huge thing. Object fit contain keeps the aspect ratio when I resize it, and height of 150 pixels makes it small, right? But if I get rid of this display grid now, see everything goes to the left. So if I do this, it centers it on the screen, right? So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say a height of 100 view height. This will go ahead and make use of the full screen. And then I'm going to say a width of 100. Right, so width of 100%. Right, I actually don't think I need that, but I'm going to keep that for now. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go and target that button. So I'm going to say target the login button. Right, and then we're going to say width of 300 pixels. I want that button to be a little bit bigger. I'm also going to give it a background color, and this is going to be the iMessage blue. So boom, save that, and then we're going to change the color of the text to like a more subtle white. I'm going to say the font weight should be 800 as well. So I'm going to make it a little bit more bold. 800, boom. And let's do that. Save, and there you go. Looks pretty good. Right, now when we hover over it, I want to get it a little bit more attractive. So right now you see it kind of goes white by default. We can't have that. Doesn't make sense. I'm going to have it invert essentially and have the color be blue and the background be gray. So that looks a bit more cleaner. Right. So this is all working pretty well. Okay. So Alexander says, why grid and not flex? Because that's a really easy trick, this one. So you can just position the entire container centrally. So it's actually a very, very neat thing if you need to do something pretty quick. In this case, I just wanted to have it very quick and simple in the center of the screen. So I went ahead and used CSS grid. Right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to implement the login functionality. So it's a lot easier than you think, right? Because we've set everything up correctly. So if you code well, guys, code something well, and then you'll see building on it and all that sort of stuff actually gets very simple because it's not hard to add to well-written code, right? It's not hard to add to the extensibility, maintainability of well-written code. So with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function called sign in. So I'm going to say const sign in, takes an event, but we don't actually care about the event. So you can ignore that. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, I need to import the authentication module and the provider from Firebase, our local Firebase that we had earlier, right? And then if I go down here, what I'm going to have is when I click the button, I want to basically trigger my sign in function. Okay. And I'm going to make the, yeah, we have that. So now all I need to do is say auth.sign in with pop-up. Okay. I go here and I say provider, because we initialized this earlier. And I don't want to do anything more than that. All I want to say is catch if there's any error, and I'm going to get the error, and I'm literally going to go and say alert error.message. That's all I'm going to say, right? Alert error.message, and that will go ahead and help you out. So if I go ahead and refresh, now if I click sign in, boom, I get a nice little pop-up. And this should be a Google authentication sign-in. There we go. Look at that. Everything's connected. If you guys think that's cool, hit the thumbs up button. That would be amazing to see that number go up to 600 likes. We're close. We're close. I think we can do it. That's awesome stuff. Okay. So with that said, now we're still at 250 concurrent viewers. That's amazing. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to have it so now, like, say, for example, if I closed it early, you see an error occurred. So it says the alert got caught here and it displayed the message, which is what we want. Okay. So now what we need to do is whenever a login event action occurs inside of app.js, I'm going to have a listener. So a use effect is what we're going to use here. So a use effect, right? I'm going to import it from React. And then here, I'm going to write the use effect. Use effect is a piece of code that fires off when the component loads. And if you put anything inside these square brackets, it will fire off again when that changes. For example, if I had the user in here, every time this would fire off once when the app component loads, as well as whenever user changes in any shape or form. Okay, so here what I'm going to say is I want to import the authentication module from our local Firebase. So I'm going to go here, import it. And then here I'm going to say auth dot on auth state change. So this is like listening now for authentication changes. And I'm going to say when any sort of change occurs, go ahead and use the auth user. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to say if there was an authenticated user, then the user is logged in, else the user is logged out. That's basically the logical flow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the dispatch. Remember earlier on, I drew that diagram. Whenever we want to add something into the data layer or the Redux sort of onion that I described earlier, what we need to do is we need to use the dispatch. So here I'm going to say use dispatch. And then I'm going to import it from React Redux. So use dispatch. And what we say is we say const dispatch equals use dispatch. This gives me like the gun to go ahead and fire a change into I'm just checking the chat. Okay, yeah, goes ahead and yeah, so now we get the gun to go ahead and fire changes or actions into the reducer, so that way it can change the data layer. So now we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and import the login and logout action from the user, right? And then what I'm going to say is if the user's logged out, I'm going to say dispatch a logout event, right? And then if we go to our user slice, the logout event simply clears the state.user to no again. And then here I'm going to say, someone's asking about Kylan, dude, I'm not going to speak about Java on this channel right now. Okay. It's all JavaScript. Okay. So, what I'm going to say is dispatch login. So dispatch login, and I'm going to pass in a payload, which is an object. And here I'm just going to pass in the following. We'll say UID is the authentication user. So this is what comes back from Google. So we're basically creating an object for the user. We're saying that he should have a photo, or she should have a photo of the user, auth user dot photo URL. And this comes back from Google authentication. We're going to say an email, and this comes back as auth user.email. And then we also have the display name. So if they have a name on Google, for example, Google collects your name when you sign up, we should be able to get that from here. So we say auth user.display name. Okay, save that. And now you can see we get everything here. So with that said, now what should happen is we should see, if I have done this correctly, if I go to Redux, now we should see, so it logged me. So right now, if I refresh, so I log out because we're not logged in right now. So you see inside of our reducer, inside of our state, we see an actual user of no, which is why I see the sign in screen. If I click sign up, notice, pay attention to over on the right hand side of the screen. And if this works, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. Okay. Let's go ahead and click on Sonny AKA Gmail. So it should go ahead and say user login. So there you go. It dispatched a login, and look at that, guys. It actually logged us in. So that's dope. And everything worked as we wanted it, right? So that's awesome. I'll cut that one off earlier. So that's working as we wanted it. Okay, so, and you can see now, if I inspect the action, it's in the user slice and it was the login action. Okay, now the payload for the user was the user ID, the photo, the email, and the display name, right? So everything works on that front. And then you can see the diff is also really, really handy. So you could do your auth user, but inside of Redux, it comes up with a serialization issue because you're trying to conveniently sort of serialize that object. So you'll get an error if you do auth user. But you can, that's why I've just stripped out some of the values, but there's a way of doing it in that way. Yeah. So now you can see inside the state, the user is populated, right? So if I was to refresh, look what happens. It refreshes and it dispatches a login. And it dispatches a login. So persistence is here, right? So that's awesome. So with that said, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button because we're almost at 600 likes. And the logout functionality I'm going to implement right now for you guys. So to log out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it. Firstly, let's actually go ahead and pull some information from where we didn't need it, right? So here, at the top where we have the avatar. So let's go to our sidebar, right? Now inside the sidebar, we have the avatar at the top here. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the user. So I'm going to say const user equals use selector. And I'm going to say select user, which is my selector that I created earlier. And I've done all the appropriate imports I needed. Now with the user, what I can do is I can go here and I can say source should be user.photo. Now watch what happens. Boom, grab my Google login. I think that's dope. I think that's so dope. I think this is getting pretty cool. We're 5 likes away from 600 likes. Pretty sick, right? When I click on this, I want to log out. So you're probably wondering, oh, there's loads of custom coding. Not really, dude. What you need to do is on click. And here I'm going to say, I'm going to import the authentication module from Firebase. So my local Firebase. So here. Some people are saying, how can this be for beginners? You're going so fast. Remember guys, this is recorded, okay? So this is not, the whole point of a live stream is not meant to be so you can completely like sit along and type with me. It's meant to be so that you can enjoy the video, watch it, you know, just enjoy seeing some live coding and things like that. And then you can pretty much go ahead and pause the video and do it at your own pace afterwards when you watch it back. Because remember, if I was to sit here and wait for everyone that's watching to kind of catch up, it's not gonna, the video is gonna be a lot longer and a lot less people are gonna find value from it. So don't worry, it is a beginner friendly video. You can pretty much go ahead and follow this from start to finish as a beginner. And we have plenty of people that have done it and they landed jobs. So quit your complaining. Let's go. Right, so here what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna say anonymous function auth.sign out, right? And then I'm going to say save it. And now what we can see is I'm going to show you guys proof of something. So I'm going to go here and Redux. And now you see it signed in. So if I go ahead and refresh, this is a good comment, by the way. Ayush says, for beginners, see 3 to 4 builds continuously and you'll get the pattern. Dude, exactly that. Like keep doing that and you're going to go ahead and see the pattern and it will make a lot of sense, right? So what I want to show you is, yes, so it dispatched the login up here, right? Now, if I go ahead and click the avatar, it dispatches a logout action, which went ahead and reset the user, move my face out of the way, it reset the user to no, right? So now inside the state, you should be able to see the user is now no, okay? So that's what that went ahead and did, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make this actually a little bit smaller, so you guys can actually see that a bit easier, right? So there we go. I mean, I'm tiny now. That's the only thing. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. I don't like it when it's too small. Okay. So now let me go ahead and sign back in. Yo, Athava, he goes, my mind is blown at the progress I just see right now. The blog may go over 5K when I wake up. Hey, let's go, dude. We just dropped a crazy clever programmer vlog on Medium. Athava, go ahead and feel free to drop that on the live chat right now. And everyone can go ahead and check out the blog when they got a minute. That'd be dope. So now what we're going to do is we says the channel name and we have the messages, right? So I guess the next step right now is we want to have these channels right here populated, as well as we'll get these messages built out and so forth. So for the channel names, what we're going to do is these channels are going to not be hard coded. So right now they're hard coded 3 sort of things that are being popped out right here. Okay. Also, this is a good question. Do you think React is a way to go on web development? I mean, is it the future? 100%. The demand is through the roof and it is really getting busy. Also, we just hit 605 likes. Thank you so much, guys. Amazing stuff. Love the positivity today. And yeah, like let's keep going. Let's try and hit like 700 likes. I think we can do it. I think we can hit 700 likes. Nice. That's dope, dude. Also, Athava just dropped a link to that 50-page plus Amazon complete read-through breakdown inside the comment section. Go ahead and check that out in a sec, or maybe open it in a separate tab and pretty much you can watch that and read that afterwards. But amazing stuff by Athava. Team is absolutely crushing it, man. It's insane. Team is crushing it. So here what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have the sidebar.js, right? And the first thing I'm going to do here is have a piece of state to keep track of the chats. So I'm going to say const chats equal and then set chats. And I'm going to say use state, right? And it's going to have an array, empty array to begin with. Now, when the sidebar component loads, I'm going to use a use effect to fire off a piece of code. So boom, like so. right? Now in here, I'm going to have empty brackets for the dependencies. So it's just going to fire off once, right? Tommy O says, I love your clone streams. Dude, I love you guys, man. I love the support that you guys give us. It's the only reason I carry on doing them. So that's really, really awesome to see that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the DB from our local Firebase. And I'm going to say db.collection. So I'm going to create a collection, and inside here, we're going to have a collection of chats, right? And I'm going to say on snapshot. So it's going to be a real-time listener, which gives us a snapshot of the database whenever anything changes, right? Now, when that changes, I'm going to say set chats, right? So as soon as anything in the database changes, we get a snapshot. And when we get that snapshot back, I'm going to say, okay, go get the snapshot, get the document inside the snapshot. This is a NoSQL structure, right? So if you don't understand what I'm talking about here, it's a NoSQL structure inside of a database. Maybe watch some of the previous videos, watch some of the builds, you'll understand what's going on here. But you can see docs.map, and then we're going to say doc, and then we're going to say it returns an object, right? And this object is going to have an ID of doc.id, and it's going to have the data inside of it as doc.data. Now, save it, okay? And it says use state is not defined. So we need to go ahead and import use state, save it, and there we go. And now we should have chats being pulled in from the database, right? So here, rather than having 3 hard-coded values, what I'm going to say is I'm going to have chats.map, and for every single chat, what I want to do is I want to render out a sidebar chat. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to render out the sidebar chat. And there we go. Nice. And then what I'm going to do is where we get the sidebar chat, I'm going to destructure it, right? So remember, we actually create an object here of ID and data, which means that I'm going to go inside here, destructure this, and say that this should have ID, data, right? Inside of the data, we're actually going to have a chat name. And this will make sense in a second, guys. Bear with me, okay? And this will all make sense, right? So now what we're going to do is we have the sidebar chat, okay? So what we're going to have is I'm actually going to pass the ID as the key. I'm also going to say the ID goes through as a prop. And then I'm going to pass a prop called the chat name through. So we're going to say chat name equals chat name. And then inside of sidebar chat, this will take some props. And then the props, we're going to destructure it and say get ID and chat name. And then instead of saying channel name, this one will now say chat name, like that. And that should be pretty good. Okay. Now here, what you should see is it's empty, right? This is good. Now when I click this icon over here, I want to do a little prompt that gets popped up, right? So how do we do that? So I'm going to go ahead and go to that icon. I'm going to say on click, right? I'm going to create a function called add chat, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and create the function. I'm going to say add chat, and this is an anonymous function. And what we do here is I go ahead and say db.collection chats. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and add a chat, right? And remember, we added the chat name. And basically what I'm going to do is we need to collect, like a pop-up should come up. So right now, if you see in this one, we have a pop-up that comes up, right? So it says, please enter a chat name. Now, hey, Athava says the background music and the lights somehow sync and look fire. That's sick, dude. Thank you so much. You can thank Mebon for that. Mebon went ahead and bought me that stuff. So amazing stuff. So all the asynchronous stuff and promises are handled by Firebase, right, Sonny? Yes. So Firebase handle a lot of the sort of backend headache and the sort of sockets and stuff like that. So you don't actually need to worry about a lot of that headache when you're doing this, right? So here we're going to go ahead and say const chat name equals prompt, right? And this prompts the user for an input. And what we're going to say is please enter a chat name. All right, please enter a chat name. And then what we're going to say is if there was a chat name, so we're going to kind of protect the user. If there's a chat name, then we'll do this database call, right? And then we're going to basically go ahead and say, set it to the chat name. Now, this will actually go ahead and should do it for us. So now if I go ahead and click, let's go ahead and say YouTube. Boom. real time. That was sick. And it worked in the first try. Hey, my best friend Jay's in the house. Sonny on a solo React video. Got to smash that like for a solo run. Amen, brother. That's it. We're doing well. We've got quite a few viewers still on. We've got 243 people across YouTube and Facebook right now. Absolutely smashing it. And also, dude, I don't know if you can see the lights. Upgraded the setup. It's looking good, man. There you go. So you see, we've got that. We've got YouTube, and let's just go ahead and type in something like Apple fans, or let's just say Papa React squad. There we go. Boom. Oh man, I kind of went off a bit, but you know, it's fine. It's going to be responsive up to a certain degree. So that looks pretty good. Okay. And then what we're going to say is we are going to go down to the, so we've done that bit now. So what I want to also do is I want to protect this against a sort of scrolling issue. So I'm going to go into my sidebar.css, and for the sidebar chats, so inside of here, so I'm going to go into my sidebar.css. Now for sidebar chats, we've actually already added the overflow. Okay, that's good. So we will protect if this bit gets sort of spammed, right? So right now it's room based. This chat is going to be room based. And the reason why I've done it room based is because it's going to be easier to go ahead and have you guys interact with each other. Okay, now why is it not fetching the photo? So if you notice inside the actual build, this is the last person who sent the message. So in this case, it'll be Kazi. And then if I go ahead and say, yo, what's up guys? Notice how it'll be me, and it'll say, yo, what's up guy, with my last timestamp. There you go, see that? That's why it hasn't done it just yet. So we need to implement this part, the messages, and then I can go ahead and connect the last message right here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to have it so when I click on one of these rooms, I go ahead and dispatch some information into the Redux store about what channel we're in. So in order to do that, first I'm going to go into my features. I'm actually going to add a whole nother slice of state. So I'm going to copy and paste my user slice. I'm going to rename it to chat slice. Okay, so chat slice.js. And then here, what I'm going to say is I'm going to go ahead and change user slice, all of this stuff, to chat. And I'm going to go through and double check. So chat in the beginning, this is not going to be this. It's going to be chat ID, and it's going to be chat name. Right. And then it's going to be, we're going to go ahead and say set chat. Right. So it's only going to be one action. And this one, we need to export it so we can use it outside. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, when we get this action, it's going to be state.chat ID equals action.payload.chat ID. Copy that line. And I'm going to go ahead and refactor this to say chat name. Oh man, I messed up. I'll show you guys a quick trick. Command D if I do chat name. There we go. Boom, save it. To do that keyboard shortcut, if you highlight a variable and you do Command D, you see it highlights all the possible ones when you get multiple cursors. Right, so that's pretty sick. And it'll allow you to be very fast with your coding. Now we have the set chat being exported. So the next thing we want to do is actually go ahead and create selectors to pull that information. So I'm going to make one called select chat name. So select chat ID, just do select chat name. And this goes into our state, into the chat slice, and it gets the chat name. I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to go ahead and say select chat ID. I'm going to go down here and say select chat ID, done. Right. So this is looking pretty good. Right. So Atharva says a MERN build with actual socket IO can also increase the possibilities and include functionality. So you can do all of this, dude, with Firebase. So don't underestimate Firebase. You can have all of that inside of Firebase, and it'll be a lot easier to build it. So you don't need to go ahead and like sort of overcomplicate it by introducing MERN. You can introduce a MERN snack and do it that way and have like the Skype functionality and things like that. But you know, only do what you kind of need to do, and that's at the point at which you need to do it. So what I'm going to do is now connect this to the store. So if I go into my store, copy and paste, there we go. Now we've got the user reducer, right? So here I'm going to change this to become, so I'm going to change this. Oops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and change this to become, oh man, what have I done? I'm going to go ahead and do user. It's going to be the chat reducer. And I'm going to copy, paste, and this one is going to be chat reducer. chat reducer. Done, right? So loads of people saying, why don't you upload React Native tutorials? Because I'm literally dropping a React tutorial for you now, dude. I'm trying to do as much as I can for you guys as in terms of value-based stuff. Also, Profit with JavaScript is on fire right now. We have a lot happening inside there. So yeah, if you want to get the most from us, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, and just stay tuned. We will be dropping as much content as you can possibly imagine. So don't worry, guys, it's coming. Now, to check that we've correctly linked up everything inside the DB, what I'm going to do is open up Redux, and we should see inside the state, we should see user, and we should see the new chat slice. So if you get this, you're pretty good at this point, right? So Imran says, hey Sonny, just amazing, bro. Keep going. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. Now what we're going to do is for the I am a message. So right now, I don't know why I'm not pulling the, if I go ahead and say test. Oh yeah, so right now actually if I go ahead and refresh, you see it's not actually saving it, because what we need to do is we need to go over here. So if you actually go ahead and inspect and do the console, I'll show you why, because we haven't actually set up a Firebase yet. So you see it, you get this long could not reach for Cloud Firestore backend, because we need to initialize it. This is live right now, Ronit. So he said, is this being premiered or live? This is live. Cloud Firestore, we go here, and then I'm going to go ahead and say create database. I'm going to start it in test mode. And I'm going to go ahead and click next. I'm going to go ahead and then don't matter about this. Enable this will go ahead and set up the Firestore database. So, whoa, man, I'm not going to read. Holy shit. Oh, shit. All right. Someone wrote a really long comment. Okay. Right. So now what we're going to do is, so Pedro, to answer your question, that's an arrow function, ES6 arrow function. Same just different syntax, right? Right. So many people are saying at DevTools, is there anything to see Redux? Yes, I literally just showed you guys. So Redux DevTools. You need to install the Redux DevTools, but this is all Redux right now. This is Redux Actions. This is Redux State. Everything is Redux. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ronit. He says, oh nice, my man. That's freaking awesome. Really awesome content, bro. Appreciated. Thank you, dude. Right, so now what I'm going to do is, if we go ahead and add it in now, so what I'm just to visualize this for you guys, I'm going to go ahead, close this up, and you guys are going to see now if I create a room and then I say like, let's call it YouTube, enter. And if I show you guys the Firebase, so now it created a chat, created the chat name YouTube. Dope. I create another one called CP team. Look at that. You see in real time, it created one called CP team. Right now, if I was to go ahead and delete this one, look on the right, yeah, in real time, boom, that's what you call snapshot. That's the snapshot that's kicking in, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do another one. So let's go ahead and say team CP, because it sounds better. There we go, created there, boom. Got this real-time sync between the app and the backend, so that's really powerful. Now we're going to basically go ahead and create the messages. Okay, so for the messages, what we're going to do is we're going to go to chat.js, and here in chat.js right now, we have everything hard coded. Okay, so in order to fix this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and inside of messages, I'm actually going to create a message component. Right, so the message component. So here I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these, and for the message component, I need to create a message component itself. So message.js RFCE, and then I'm going to go ahead and say import message.css, and then I'm going to go ahead and say message.css. So Thava says, I love the real-time functionality of Firebase because you don't need to refresh the client to make the changes visible. Exactly, and that's very important. Imagine you had an app which is saying when your order is ready, you need to be able to go ahead and do that, right? So that's going to be very important, and that's what Firebase pretty much fixes for you out of the box. So very, very powerful stuff. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and say for the message. So each message is going to take two parameters, right? It's going to take contents, and it's going to take, so I'm going to destructure, it's going to take an ID and contents, right? And then the message itself is going to be, it's going to have an avatar, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say avatar, auto import from React Material UI core. And then we're going to have a p tag with the message inside of it. So this is a message. Jay, good question, dude. So he goes, why don't you use module.css so you can separate CSS for each component? Very good question. And yes, what that does is it prevents you from having naming clashes. But for now, what I would say is when people are learning and things like that, so yes, module.css is really good. BEM is just very quick for when I'm building. Also, there is a benefit to BEM. For example, like if I go into my login, right, and I basically say I'm new to the programming, like new to whatever I'm coding. If I do Command Shift F and I do this, it will actually give me the exact location of that. And then it will actually find it in the CSS. Whereas if I was using module.css, it's kind of difficult, but it's not difficult. But the truth is module.css is better. Yes. But BEM is a really good naming convention to practice, and it gets you very good at it. Basically breaks the bad habit of naming, and then I would say progress to module.css. So really, really good question, bro. Agus says, let's go. Nice. Keep the energy high. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Agus. Right, so this is a message, and then we're going to go ahead and create a small tag, and here I'm going to have a timestamp. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my chat, and then here I'm going to import message from the top. So there we go. And you can see this is a message, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and paste this a few times. We should have 3 messages popping out. Nice. Now inside a message, I'm going to go ahead and pull out message.css. I'm going to pull this underneath, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull out my message so I can see it. Right, now for the message, I'm going to say dot message. Oh yeah, some people had a comment them inside the return block. I remember that. So display flex, save it, and everything goes into a row. We don't see it because this needs to be class name message. There we go. And then I'm going to say align item center, because it should go in the center. I'm going to say position relative, because we're going to do some absolute positioning inside of it with another component. I'm going to say width should be fit content, because we only want the bubble to be as big as it needs to be. I'll say justify content space between, because I want it to be sort of spaced out as much as it can be. I'll say margin of 15 pixels. So around, remember, margin's outside the component, padding is inside the component. Now, the next thing, okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to say the message and then target the p tag inside. Right, so the p tag inside, there we go. And I'm going to add a background color, font size medium, padding 15 pixels, border radius 20 to get that rounded effect, margin 10 pixels to add some more separation around the back, around it, and then the margin right pushes it all the way to this side, okay, for this one. Now, what I'm also going to do is target that small tag. So I'm going to say, go ahead and target the small tag, gray, position absolute, but because the parent is relative, it actually goes ahead and stays relative to its parent, and then it's bottom -5, and this goes ahead and adds a little timestamp like this. So very clean, right? Now, what if I want to have it so that we have a sender as well? So we'll figure out the sender afterwards. So the blue message. So if you send the message, you want it to be this side blue. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that in just a bit. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it so that when you enter, it's actually going to go ahead and send a message into this right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that first. So the way we do that is, firstly, I need to have keep track of all the messages coming in. So inside of chat.js, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say const messages, set messages equals use state. Okay, and then I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, right, so before we do this, actually, what we need to do is we need to fix a problem. We need to fix a problem. So I need to have it so when I click one of these, it changes this to the channel, right? So if I click on the sidebar, so let's go to the sidebar.js. We have to solve this issue first. So sidebar.js, what I'm going to do now is have it so that when I click on the sidebar chat component, so inside the sidebar chat component, I should have it so that when I click on that, it goes ahead and dispatches an action. So I'm going to show you guys how you can do this with an inline function. So here I'm going to say on click. I'm going to do an inline function, and I'm going to say dispatch. And I'm going to say dispatch, and we'll do the imports and stuff afterwards. And I'm going to say set chat. So this is a action that we set up earlier inside the apps, inside the chat slice. And this will actually go ahead and take the chat ID. which is the ID we passed in as a prop. And it's also going to set the chat name as the chat name as a prop, which came in as a prop. This means that we basically go ahead and set this up inside of our Redux store, so that way we can access it outside of any other place, right? So here I'm going to say const dispatch, sorry, const dispatch equals use dispatch. Import it, get rid of this, boom. Cesar says it's amazing how you know what you need to do step by step. I understand how to do it myself, but the project from scratch because I get lost by myself. Thank you, Sonny. It just takes practice, dude. I remember in the beginning I used to be like freaking out and like panicking everywhere. It just takes practice. You'll get used to it. Honestly, don't stress, man. Just don't give up. That's my main advice. I just broke something. Line 13. Oh yeah, chat name. Boom, boom, boom. Get rid of this. All right, 1 second, guys. We've got this. We've got this. Dispatch an object. That's the end of the dispatch. That's the end of this. Okay. Unexpected error. God damn it. There's always some kind of error when we do this stuff. So let me go ahead and check something quickly. The dispatch. Save it. Boom. Okay. And then we've got the dispatch itself. We've got the set chat. We've got the ID. Okay. This is because of the following. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to say const dispatch equals use dispatch. These brackets are ruining the show. Honestly, dude, yeah. Sometimes the brackets just piss me off, man. Yeah, so const dispatch, there we go. And then what I'm going to say is const chat info equals set chat info. So this will be important for afterwards actually, but we'll do that later. So set chat is not defined, line 13. This is because we need to go ahead and import this action. We set that up earlier inside of our chat slice in Redux. And now what this should do is when I do this, it will dispatch an action in Redux. So if I go down here, you should see, look, so fresh piece of state. So if I click Team CP, it goes ahead and sets the chat and it changes the chat name. So move out of the way. Changes the chat name to Team CP and the chat ID to the chat ID, right? Now if I click on YouTube, it changes it. So it dispatched an action, changed the name to YouTube and the chat ID to the ID that's based inside of Firebase. Now that's very important because we're going to use that afterwards to go ahead and fetch the correct messages for this component. So it's very cleverly connected, right? So once that's done now, what we can do is we can go ahead and actually pull that information in at the top, right? So we go ahead and go to our let's go to our chat.js. And inside of chat.js now what I can do is I can use my selector. So I can say, go ahead and say chat name equals use selector. And I can say select chat name. And I can pull this in. And that's a special import. So it's pulled in over there. And then what we can say is rather than having channel name set over here, I can actually go ahead and say channel name. And now it says channel name is not defined. Oh, sorry, chat name. Chat name, god damn it. Yeah. Somebody said, yeah, Jay said you missed an open bracket. Yeah, I know. We found it in the end, dude. So now if we click YouTube, Team TP, hey, see it changes at the top. And we also have access to the ID, right? So now what I'm going to have, awesome. And did you manage programming fitness and lifestyle when you were at the age? How did you manage programming, fitness, and lifestyle? Also, dude, ask nicely, okay? When you're at 22 to 25 age, what do you mean, how did you manage? You just do it, man. Just do it. stop complaining or finding excuses. You literally just make it happen. Like if I don't really know the question, like how did you manage to do that at that age? Like what's stopping you from doing it at that age? That's what you need to kind of reset your sort of mindset around it. Okay. So then what we're going to go ahead and do is have it load the appropriate messages, right? So this is going to take a two-step process. So the first one is we go into our chat.js and we need to create a piece of state for the messages to keep track of what's going on. So messages, set messages. Okay, then I'm going to say use state. This is going to be an empty array. Zebihula says, how are you, Sonny? I'm good, dude. How are you? Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Yeah. We're going to create a use effect, right? And I'm also going to get the chat ID. So I'm going to say const chat ID equals use selector, and I'm going to say select chat ID, right? Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and then I'm going to go ahead and say, so that's all working well. Now the chat ID is there. So now I'm going to go to the use effect. Basically use effect again, there's a piece of code that fires off once when the chat component loads, and also whenever a dependency inside these square brackets changes. For example, in this case, we need this to refresh every time the chat ID changes, because I'm going to need the chat ID here. So I'm going to say if a chat ID was selected, so we only get select one when I click on one of these options, then I would populate the store with a chat ID. When that happens, I'm going to go ahead and say db.collection. I'm going to go inside of, hey, T Swayler says, I think I'm going to be on this channel from now on. Nice, dude. Appreciate that. So we're going to say db.collection chats, and then we'll say doc, and then the doc is going to be the chat ID, right? So we're actually going to go into that chat, and then we're going to say go into the collection inside of that chat and access the messages. So essentially what we're doing is we're going inside the chat room. So inside this chat room, we're going to go inside the collection of messages, and then I'm going to say order by, because we're actually going to set up a timestamp. So I'm going to say order by a timestamp, and then I'm going to say order by a descending timestamp. So that will be for a bit afterwards. Jay says handling the chat and coding a goddamn iMessage from scratch at the same time is not an easy feat. Pure talent. Appreciate that, dude. And then what we're going to say is on snapshot, right? Now snapshot is something that we do when we want to get a real-time feedback. So if anything changes inside the DB, so we're going to use set messages, so the hook, and then we're going to go ahead and say snapshot.docs.map, and then we're going to say doc. Right now, for every single doc that comes back, I'm going to map it to a object, and this is going to map to the doc.id and also the data. God's sake, I hate that thing. Data.doc.data. Okay, so it's like that. And what this is going to do is, I know that might be a mouthful right here, but what this is doing is it's basically when I click on this, it's finding this inside the DB, this room, all the messages inside of collection, and it's grabbing them and storing them inside of the messages array. Okay. Gobachan Singh says this is amazing. Attended it for the first time. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, glad you guys are enjoying this. And again, we're almost at 700 likes. Right. Jagutha says, wow, Sonny is the best in React. Thanks. I learned a lot from you. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much for the kind words. Let's keep on going strong. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we have the messages coming back, right? So here, rather than having the messages hard coded, I'm going to say for all of the messages, go ahead and map through them. And for each message, I want to render out an implicit return. So an implicit message return. And then we're going to go ahead and say render out a message. And in that message should have a key with the ID. And here I'm going to destructure the what comes back for every message. I'm going to get the ID and the data. And then we're going to pass in the contents of the message, and that's going to be the data. And the ID is going to be the key. Okay. And that will be that. And then we save it. And now you should see if I click it, I know it doesn't look good, but it is correct. It's working. Trust me on that. It's working, right? Uday Singh says, I love you, man. You're great. We have Sorin saying, I love it. Shurab says, you are one of the best tutors of React after Rad Love from Pakistan. Thank you so much, dude. set messages and on snapshot in one command. Until now, they were separate. Yeah, it's really, really powerful to write it like that, right? So the next thing we're going to do now is, this is actually sort of, when I click this, it's going ahead and fetching it, right? So it's fetching the messages, but we need a way to push messages inside right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. So right now, earlier we set up the input map. We mapped the input sort of piece of state to our input field over here. And then we had it map on the on change. So as I type in down here, pretty much goes ahead and stores it inside of our local state. Now, when we created a send message, we said e.prevent default to prevent the refreshing from happening. And then we said Firebase magic. So this is where the Firebase magic happens, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say db.collection. We're going to go back into the chats, right? The collection of chats. We're going to go into the doc, and the doc here is going to be the chat ID. And then I'm going to say, go into the collection of messages, right? And then what I'm going to say is add. Right, so go into collection of messages, and then I'm going to say add. And at this point, what we do is we pretty much go ahead and add what we need. So we're going to add a timestamp. Now, the timestamp is going to be different for everyone. For example, if you're in India, if you're in LA, if you're in New York, your timestamp is going to be different to me in London. So what I need to do is I need to go ahead to the top and say import Firebase from Firebase. Okay, so import Firebase from Firebase, not the local one, the actual Firebase. And here I'm going to say firebase.firestore. Right, which is a function. And we're going to say field value. No, we're not a function. Sorry, we're going to say field value. And then I'm going to say server timestamp, and that's a function. This will go ahead and give me the time of the actual server. So that way, even if you sent it based in London, even if you sent this in, hey, Ismail saying, London, baby, thanks for doing this on a Friday night. It's a good way to end your Friday night. Nice, guys. Awesome stuff. Bala Ganesh says, thank you so much for providing the valuable information. Keep inspiring and motivating us. Thank you so much, dude. Messed up the camera a little bit there. But then we've got the timestamp. So regardless of where you're based in, nice. He says, dude, I see you and the projects more than anything else. During my day, I don't give up. Do you know already what the next project will be? React Native, a bunch of stuff happening. We've got loads of stuff coming, guys. Just keep subscribed and keep an eye on my Instagram. Go ahead and follow me over here if you're not following me, to keep track of when we drop the latest and greatest videos. Okay, so message here, I'm going to say input. And then I'm also going to give UID. And this one is going to be user. So again, now I need the user's information. So the message contents are going to be here. We're going to pull that from the input, okay? But I need the user who actually sent the message. So in order to do that, I'm going to get the user. I'm going to say select, use selector, and then I'm going to say select user. So this is my select user. And then I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is import. Okay, we've already imported it. So Soham, thank you so much for the kind words. Bonjour text, enjoying it. Nice stuff, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and have it so that it pushes the we've got the message here, but I've also want a bunch of other things. I want the UID, the photo, the email, the display name, all from the user item, right? So all I do is I go UID equals user.uid. So remember, when you log in, we populate the user inside the Redux store. We just use the selector to go ahead and grab it from the Redux store, which gives us the user object. And that's how we go ahead and get the user that we're going to push in for every single object. That also gives us the photo. Okay. Now, Burak says, you are like a magician. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Good positivity, right? I love this because I don't find it coincidence that my motivation app just told me, don't give up on something you can't stop thinking about every single day. Exactly. Keep doing what you love, right? So that, with that said, now what we actually have is a really nice system which should be working. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out. So firstly, I'm also going to go ahead and update the message itself before we do that, so everything should come in clutch and work together, right? So first thing I'm going to do is the contents actually have a bunch of things inside of it. So my girlfriend is obsessed with Papa React. Do you guys know who Papa React is? Who the heck is Papa React? Hey, I love her, honestly. She goes, I miss him. She misses out on time with me for these streams. So smash the thumbs up button, right? And show some love and support for that. right? So over here, I'm going to say contents, and I'm going to destructure, right? Jay goes, oh, the OG arrives. This is where it comes up. She goes, guys, show some love. He's doing so well. Let's tap that like button. Guys, we're at 660 likes. Can we get it to 700? I think so. Right? So now I'm going to go ahead and destructure the contents, right? So over here, I'm going to say timestamp. I'm going to say display name. I'm going to say email. So I'm breaking apart the object right now. I'm going to say message, photo, and UID, right? UID. Save it. And then it says line 7 is an error. No, what did I do? Yeah, I need to close this. And then, oh, what the hell happened here? So we've got this. Boom, boom. There we go. Right. I think we can get to 700 likes. I think we can. Petition to get Mehban next to Sonny's in the next video. 100%. I think we can get Mehban in this video. I'll teach you how to code, guys. We can do that, right? That would be awesome. The one here is actually Papa Angular. No, we don't talk about Angular here, guys. We hate that shit, right? So, yes, Papa and Mama together. Yeah, she's gonna be Mama React, guys. So get her on the channel early. We're actually thinking of starting a YouTube channel together. So that'll be fun. Right now, guys, with that said, now the avatar, the source for the avatar is actually going to be the photo that comes through, right? So the photo that we destructured, there we go. So inspiring, man. Love from Bangladesh. By the way, where are you from, Sonny? London, dude. Based and born in London. Right now for the p tag, I'm going to say this is a message. Rather than that, I'm going to actually drop a dynamic message just being pulled in. Then we're going to go ahead and say timestamp. So for the timestamp, you need to do some clever parsing, right? So I'm going to go ahead and drop a snippet in here, and I'll explain what it does. It says create a new date from the timestamp. Optional chaining protects it against, because there are times where it's asynchronous and it's pretty much going to have an undefined value. So you protect yourself with optional chaining. You say pass it to a date, and then you're going to basically go ahead and format it to a locale string. So we can go ahead and save that. And I know it seems like, oh my god, he's doing so much shit, but it will make sense in a second, right? Bonjour Tech says, you guys are great coders and are great humans. Nice family. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. This will be dope. Next video, teaching about coding and how to go about it. Damn, wouldn't that be fun? More like Mehban Bara going code and learn with me, React from Papa React from scratch. So basically teaching up from scratch. Yeah, I think that'll be fun, honestly. RZO says, you are the best program in the world. Thanks, bro, for this helpful information. Appreciate that, dude. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and have the email. So the final piece right here, so I'm going to actually go ahead and say, we're going to test it right now, right? So if this works, right, this is where it gets tense, right? If this works, right? So I haven't actually gone ahead and sort of checked everything out, but if this next bit works, I want everyone to smash the thumbs up button and get this video to 700 likes, all right? So I think what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get ready for this, right? Because I'm going to pretty much, I haven't tested this. I'm just going to go ahead and see if it works in one go. We changed so much code right now, and I think it's going to work, right? I think it's going to work, but you know how these things happen, right? So I'm going to go to message. I'm signed in, right? And then we're going to go ahead and say, yo, this works, I think, ... right? So it's suspense, right? Everything's going to happen. As soon as I hit enter on this, is it going to work, right? All right. See how it goes. Abiola says, best programmer I have ever seen. Jay goes, let's go. Atava's already coming in with the suspense music. All right. I think we can do it. So I'm going to hit enter, and we can see if it's going to work. Hey, see it worked. And look at that, guys. It pulled my picture in, and it pulled the message in. It even has a correct timestamp, right? So that's pretty sick, right? Everything works like that. And now if I go ahead and just say like ABC 1 2 3, test it, boom, works nice, right? So that's dope. We got everything working. I think we should all go ahead and hit that thumbs up if you haven't already, right? Again, I think we're gonna hit 700 very soon. So that's dope, guys. Now what we're gonna do is actually have it so that if you're the sender, then it's going to go ahead and make it that blue message. So it's going to be like this, right? If you're the sender, it's going to show you a blue message. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So inside of message.css, I'm going to go ahead and add the following logic. So right now we have message over here. So I'm going to create this into a I'm going to do string interpolation here. And I'm going to say if the user.email, so I need to go ahead and actually pull the user in. So I need to say const user equals use selector select user, right? Yeah. And then what we're going to say now is we're going to say user, if the user's email is equal to the email address that comes in, I'm going to change it to the other music because it's easier to focus with that one, right? Then we're going to go ahead and have, so this is, no, the question mark is if else, that's if else what we're about to use right now. But the question mark down here is actually saying optional chaining. So if this for any reason is undefined, it doesn't crash the program, it just handles it elegantly. So it's something called optional chaining. Very, very elegant solution to use. But here what we're going to do is we're using ternary here. So actually we're not going to use ternary, we're going to use a direct, right? But with the ternary you can say if it's true, then say this, else say this, right? So that's a ternary. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a direct sort of conditional. So we're going to say here, apply the message sender class if the user's email is equal to the email of the message, right? Go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and refresh. For some reason that's not refreshing. There we go. And now if I go ahead and click into this, for example, the YouTube chat, it loads up the YouTube message. And if I go here and say this is a test, now you guys can also see if I go into different channels, it pulls those messages, which is dope, right? So let's go into message.css. Hey, we got Ecuador in the house. Nice. What's up, dude? And then here, what we're going to say is I'm going to add a few style tricks in. So what I'm going to first say is that if the message sender class exists, set the margin all the way to the right. Right? Then what we're going to say is that if the message sender exists, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to target the message photo and I'm going to use a rule called order 1. And this is basically going to change the flex order of the children. So the image will now go ahead of the child. So in this case, if I do that and I say message photo by default is order 0, what this will do is we want to get this effect, right? So we have the message on this side and the message on here. So the way we do that is I can refresh. We actually haven't set something up correctly here. So we've got the message sender, then we need to do message photo, because inside of here, I haven't done a class name of message photo. Now if we do that and refresh, boom, works. There we go. Right, so now it's the sender, and also I'm going to change the color of the message sender. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Oh, we're 10 likes away from 700 likes, guys. Let's go. Come on, we can do this. Right, so we're going to go ahead and target the message sender p tag, and we're going to say if you're a sender, then it turns blue. So now it does this, right? So I'm going to test this. I'm going to log out of my account, go into sign in, and I'm going to go ahead and check. Now I'm going to go into Kazi's account, and let's go ahead and see. And if I go here now, so that now I'm not the sender because it's not Kazi's email address. But if I go into here and I say like, what's up, guys? Enter, boom. So now the sender is going to get the blue message, but somebody else is going to not have it, right? 5 likes away. Hey, let's go. Dope, right? So that works really good. Okay. Now the next step and the final step is actually going ahead and adding 2 things. 1, adding the animations, which will be very quick. And 2, Atharva goes, if we do not have 700 Merbomb, we'll attack Sonny. God damn it. Help me out, guys. Get 4 more likes and get #fancy dinner going. You know? So what we're going to do now is also have the message come up here, right, in sidebar chat. So in order to do that, what we need to do is go into our sidebar chat. and we have the, I need to create a piece of state, and this is going to be the information that we're going to show here. So I'm going to call it chat info. Okay, so I need to go ahead and import this, and there we go. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is drop a use effect, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say drop a use effect here, and this goes like that. And what we're going to have is we're going to have the ID, right? So the ID, oh my God, 699 likes. Hey, there we go. Nice, guys. Thank you so much for that. 700 likes on this video. That's insane. Love the energy you guys have had today. Honestly, it's picked up as the video's gone on, and it's been a quality live stream. Okay, so amazing stuff. Hashtag fancy dinner. All right, that's what we're talking about, guys. Nice. Okay, and then the likes keep going up. That's what I like to see, man. That's what I like to see. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is where we have the use effect, I'm going to go ahead and say db.collection, and then I'm going to go ahead and say go inside the chats, and I'm going to say go inside the doc ID, and then I'm going to go ahead and say collection of messages. And if you guys aren't already following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me. My tag is under my picture right now. I'd love to go ahead and chat to you guys on there, so that'd be awesome to go ahead and see you guys. I'm going to do order by timestamp, and then I'm going to do descending. Okay, and then I'm going to do on snapshot to get the real-time functionality. So on snapshot, and then I'm going to go ahead and say snapshot. So when we get that snapshot, go ahead and update the state. So set chat info, and set the chat info to snapshot.docs.map. Every single doc, right? Hey, you guys are dropping some nice comments, man. Thank you so much, Muscab. Thank you so much, Imran. We've got loads of people dropping, lots of positivity. This is amazing stuff. Sonny, I'll be waiting on the fanciness or the Insta with the one and only Mayor Bombard. Yeah, we will be going to a fancy dinner. Don't worry about that. Right, so back to serious stuff, right? We're gonna go ahead and map doc.data like this, and then we're gonna go ahead and thank you so much, Dutch American. He says excellent speaker. Appreciate that, dude. So now we should actually have the chat info inside of here, inside of our local state, right? And then the ID is dependent, so we need to include that here. So with that said, now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go down here, and where we have the chat here, so all I need to do is get the last message that was sent. So inside of chat info, I'm going to access the 0 element, right, which is basically the first element. I'm going to say go get the message of that, right? And also with the timestamp, I'm going to do the same thing. So that's sort of interesting is the only way I can really say it. Oh, nice, dude. We got a big donation just come in, 200 Mexican pesos. Thanks for explaining Papa React. Moses Alejandro Cherez Hernandez. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the donation, and really, really nice stuff. Thank you so much, man. Congrats, Sonny, on the 700th birthday. Yeah, it's always a birthday, man, when we get that stuff going. I'll drop this on my channel. I'll drop something like this on my channel. That'll be cool. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, and in the small tag, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna include I'm gonna say new chat info 0 timestamp today, and then we're gonna pass it. Now you can see, guys, look at this. If I go ahead and change it to like 123, boom, 123 has the latest timestamp. And then the one thing we need to fix is the avatar, right? So the source for the avatar, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. I'm gonna say here it's gonna be chat info 0, and then we're doing optional chaining to protect against the break. And then now we should see, so Kazi was the last one that sent a message here, and then I was the last one that sent a message here, which is why my picture. But if I say, yo, I'm taking over the sidebar, boom, there you go. Now it's Kazi's picture. All right, so that's dope. That's amazing. It's working as we want it, right? So what we're gonna do now is have some fancy animations in. So the way we can do that is Somebody says, so Sonny, can you pause the music when you do live streams? It kind of kills the vibe. I don't know, man. I really enjoy the vibe, the music. And I think loads of people actually enjoy the music. So I kind of go based off of what everyone's enjoying, what everyone's feeling, you know, that sort of stuff. My girlfriend just texted me saying they want me in the vid. Hell yeah, we're going to bring you in the vid. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and actually add the animations in. So you can see right now, see on this is the final finishing touch, this nice little animation right here. Okay. Amazing donation. Thank you so much, Shashank. He says, what CP doing is amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, brother, for that donation. Appreciate you. Also, if I go ahead and type in here, say hello, you see that it kind of pops in a very nice animated fashion. So in order to do that, what we're going to do now is, yeah, so T-Swaler is like, no, don't kill the music. That's it. I'm not going to kill it, dude. Don't worry. So I'm going to add something called React Flip Move. So I'm going to go here and say React Flip Move. And I'm going to go here to effortless animation. And I'm going to show you guys how to implement very easy animations, right? So we need to go ahead and install it. So I'm going to go in to bring up the terminal. I'm going to say npm I React Flip Move. You don't need the -s anymore. And then what I'm going to say is we're going to go down here and you see there's a good documentation for this. But all we need to do essentially is add a forward ref to our message. So that's the first thing. So I'm going to go to my message and I'm going to change this function to an ES6 function first. So I'm going to say const message equals, and I'm changing this to an arrow function. So it's the same thing, but it's just written in the ES6 way. So this is the ES6 way of writing a function. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, his mail says, play some 6ix9ine, dude. Can you imagine trying to code to that? It'll be tricky, man. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add forward ref. And then I'm going to go ahead and do parentheses, go all the way down here and add the closing parentheses. And then you've got after the destructuring, I'm going to do comma, and I'm going to pull a ref out of it, right? And then what that means is we pull the ref away from this bit. And then we go into our div and we basically say ref equals ref. Now, as for what this does, you don't need to, I'm not going to explain what forward ref is at this point, but you need to import it. This is pretty much it's going to allow your sort of, just think of it this way, it's going to allow your functional components to be able to communicate the way that they need to for the animation to play correctly, okay? So that's all we need to know at this point. So that's successfully installed. We don't need that anyway, don't allow us. Then we're going to go back to our chat.js, and where we render out the messages, all we need to do is wrap this entire div inside of the flip move. So flip move component, because now we've done that correctly. So it's going to freak out, and I'm going to go back here and you see it saying React Flip Move is not defined. So I need to import React Flip Move. React Flip Move. I'm going to go ahead and import that React Flip Move from React Flip Move. And now, guys, check this out. Boom. Animations. You need keys, though. You need keys in your messages. Otherwise, it messes this entire thing up because it doesn't know which is what then. But now if I go inside and say hello, boom, check that out, guys. Yo, it works. Look how smooth that is. That's dope. I just want to check if my overflow is fixed. So if I'm just going to do, say, ABC, and I'm going to copy this a bunch of times. Let's do ABC. Oh, okay. I guess we could do import React Flip Move from. Okay. So you see this right now, it breaks, right? There's no, see, overflow doesn't work correctly, right? We don't want this to happen. Okay. So how do we fix this overflow issue, right? So let's go ahead and fix this. So let's go ahead and go to our chat.css. And here, what we want to do, so inside of chat.css, where we have chat messages, I'm going to go ahead and firstly add overflow scroll. Okay. Now, by adding that, you can see we've actually already fixed a lot of the issue, but I want to kind of hide the scroll bars, right? So in order to do that now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these two snippets. We've seen them before. I'm reusing them here. So these two, the first one does it for Chrome, Safari, and Opera. The second one does it for Internet Explorer, Edge, and Firefox. But it basically removes the look and feel. So if I go ahead and save it, it removes the look and feel, but it actually keeps the functionality of the scroll bar. Okay, so that's dope. And it works really, really nice, really, really well. So with that said now, what we're going to go ahead and do is, so if you want to go ahead and make it to time ago, I would recommend just go ahead and extend on it, but you can pretty much use the moment or time ago library. That's going to be something pretty cool. We can actually go ahead and just check quickly. I think it's time ago JS. Oh god, JS moment. You get loads. You get time ago.js. This one's pretty decent. I've used this one before. You see where it says just now, 4 minutes ago, things like that. Should we just quickly do it? Let's just do it. Go on then. Let's do it. I'm going to do npm install timeago.js, and then let's go ahead and see how you can do it. So import all as time ago, and then let's go ahead and check out how we use it. So I haven't used this in a while, so it'll be interesting. So sidebar chat, and then we have where we have the timestamps over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say import at the top, import all from time ago.js. You can also do it with moment, I think. So I'm just using a quick one that I saw, but you can do it with moment. Moment's a really good one to do that. So moment, that's what we're going to do. Time ago dot format. Oops. Time ago dot format. I'm going to basically pop this in. Now I'm not sure if that will work just like that. Pretty much go ahead and see. So look at that, 4 weeks ago. Okay, that's not right. It hasn't done that right. So if I go to locale string, let's go ahead and see if this one works. Oh, there we go. Nice. Look at that. 2 minutes ago. And if I go ahead and say, yo, boom, just now. That's dope. Dude, that's sick. We got that working pretty quick. And now this one says 6 minutes ago. If I go ahead and said, when was this pushed? Just now, right? And that's sick. And that will change as and when sort of like the timings change and things like that. I think moment is actually a lot better. I think I would use moment. But yeah, you can pretty much use whatever you decide to do, because you see now this one doesn't actually refresh in real time, but I mean, it's not bad. Like, isn't it's actually not bad. Like, but I would like the one that does dynamic. So I would actually go recommend time ago moment.js. I think I prefer moment.js. They have a much better way of doing it in moment.js. So I think it's from now. Yeah, you see, from now is the one that I would have used preferably, but it's fine. Yeah. So this one, the reason why I've done this, guys, and had it reversed like this is because you need to have a listener then which scrolls to the bottom always. So I'm not going to do that today, otherwise it's just a little bit unnecessary extra work. I want to show you the deployment instead so we can prioritize that, right? What I would say is you can pretty much go ahead and just, if you want to do that, you go to chat.js and you literally just change it to ascending firstly, and then you have it so that you always have a scroll listener. So every time the user sends a message, it will scroll to the bottom. So that way it kind of locks to the bottom every time you send a message. That's how you do that, by the way. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say Firebase init, right? So in order to do this, you need to have Firebase set up. So Firebase tools, so you might need to globally install Firebase tools. But what I'm going to do now is go ahead and do Firebase init, and I'm going to click spacebar on hosting. And then I'm going to say use an existing project, right? So I'm going to go ahead and find the build that I've done. So you see we have so many builds. And iMessage clone YouTube, hit that. And then what you want to go ahead and do is go ahead and do public directory. I'm going to say build, right? So you don't hit enter, it has to be build, right? Build is very important here. And then once we do this, we're going to click Y, because it's a single page app. Every React app is a single page app. Then what we need to do is say npm run build. So now we're going to deploy this live, right? So npm run build, and then I'm going to basically go ahead. So that's going, if I run that, it basically creates an optimized production build. Okay, optimized production build, and that will go ahead and make it very, very fast and and it'll be very, very nice and easy to go ahead and do that. So optimized production build is going to get, so it strips out all the things like dev tools, the things that you don't need on the deployed version of the website. That's what happens when you use this. Okay, so you need to go ahead and do this. And now it's important to know, whenever you do npm run build, if you make any changes after, you're going to need to go ahead and do npm run build again to get the optimized build. Now, checking inside of our build folder, so as we now should see a build folder with all the stuff inside of it. You don't want to ever touch the build folder. the command line builds everything for you and puts it inside of there. But what we want to do now is say Firebase deploy. If it's not single page, we can use hash router and deploy. You don't even need to use that. You can use React router to make it multiple pages. So a lot of the builds, including the Amazon clone on the React challenge, if you use a React router inside that, we use React router inside that build to have multiple pages inside the app. That will do it. But here you can say Firebase deploy. And guys, who is ready to deploy this thing? If you're ready, let me know. We've pretty much got this thing built, but I want to go ahead and have everyone jump on this app and get this thing deployed and up and running. So let me know in the comments if you are excited, and if you are and you haven't already done so, smash the thumbs up button and let me know if I should hit this deployment button. Okay, so let me know right now. My finger is here, right? All I have to do is literally just drop and we can pretty much go ahead and deploy this thing live, and it's so fast. And I'm going to drop that in the chat and everyone's going to go ahead and be able to use this and go ahead and see the real-time functionality of this, right? So we have Miracle says, let's go. Jay says, get that fire build online so we can experience it. Pranav says, ready for sure. Everyone is ready. Bonjour says, pumped, super ready and pumped. Let's go ahead and do it. Daniel Graham is saying, push that button. Let's go ahead and do it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and hit the enter key. And you can see it's pretty much going to go ahead and spin it up. So it's deploying hosting. And as soon as that's done, it's uploading the new files. Let's see how long it takes. And hey, there we go. Here it is, guys. Go ahead and check this out right now. So I'm going to drop it inside of the chat. Go ahead, log in with your accounts and pretty much go and check out this build right now. Keep it clean, please. Keep it clean. And while you guys do that, I'm going to be showing some amazing comments on the screen. Let me see if we start seeing some people pushed inside. Hey, we start seeing people coming in. Nice. Look, we got some people coming in. YouTube love. We got stuff coming in here. Look at that. Let's go. Lots of love. Nice, guys. That's good job, man. So because we got loads of people adding channels, it's changing the channels, which is fine. You can go YouTube love, Team CP. Go ahead and play around with it. So we've got Boom, Angus, great work, Sonny. There we go. See, let's go ahead and chat. So here we can say, yo. Team CP. Oh man, this is what I mean. Keep it clean, guys. Come on. But yeah, that's how we do it, guys. So we have pretty much gone ahead and built out the entire clone for you guys, right? So that means that we went ahead and covered things like React in this build. We have Redux behind the entire build. We have Firebase behind the build. It's using Material UI. This was a dope build, and it was an awesome, I had some awesome energy with you guys today. Like everyone just got that energy kind of ramped up as the build went on. I thought it was so much fun to go ahead and do this. This was an amazing build, and guys, stay tuned. And if you haven't already, the first link in the description is a 3-hour free Netflix training webinar that me and Kazi have put together. You guys can go ahead and check that out. Make sure you sign up to it right now. And if you haven't already, smash the thumbs up button so everyone can go ahead and benefit from the value that this live stream went ahead and dropped. This video will be available online now, so make sure you go ahead and you can pretty much go ahead and replay it at your own time. Build this, add this to your portfolio. And I just want to say again, thank you so much, guys, for watching the live streams. I will be dropping more content and I will be more active on this channel. I'll also be active on my channel. I'm going to be dropping some content over there. But with that said, guys, I love and appreciate every single one of you. Check out the blog that Athava posted. Athava, go ahead and drop that in the comment section. But with that said, guys, as always, I love and appreciate every single one of you, and I will see all of you in the next video. Peace.